match with the millions.
It's that world heavyweight flow. Championship belt wrapped around my waist, yo. I got that Ric Flair figure flow. Slam you on the pavement, that's why they call me Street Pro. Create heat on beat flow. Like Jordan after the second time he three-peated, folks. Get ready, set, let's go. Fight toe to toe, release the flow created by this mic pro. Lights, camera, get low. Action packed, back to back. In fact, this monster will grow. Y'all better let him know. Man with the master plan, and you have no need to know. You came prepared, now get ready for the show.
Sports Professor. Oh,
shit. Yo. What up? What up? What up, friends? You know what it is. Ball and Buds is back. I'm back, baby. We are back. A big, huge week for Ball and Buds. Yes, I know you have not seen this beautiful, beautiful face for a few weeks now. I know that I got, and then I have weeks off to go to Puerto Rico, go see the familia. Had an amazing time visiting all of the family, including my grandma, watching right now. Huge fan of Ball and Buds. That being said, welcome to another installment, actually number 29 of the Professor's Semanalmente, which just means weekly, you marks. That's all it means. It just means weekly. It's my weekly news headline show. You know, we're going to talk about news of the week, sports news. We're going to talk about NBA, NHL, conference finals. We're going to talk USA news. We're going to get you updated on all the stuff Donald Trump, president, administration has been up to since we last talked. We will also update you on all foreign wars, as we are wont to do on this war and the Ukraine-Russian war over the past couple of days. So we'll also get into that at the end of the program as well. In the entertainment section, we'll get into the Sean Diddy Combs trial that has been, wow. If you haven't been paying attention to that trial, it's intriguing and pretty eye-opening testimonies happening within that trial. But before we get into any of that, you know, I like to start with what will important event of the day. And I would be remiss. I'm sitting here waiting for some going on right now. I know that this is obviously one from when I was in, but that was also hey, they may have changed it, but this is definitely the same shirt from basic training that I got, and I've kept it all these years. I'm not the one we are celebrating today. No. We are celebrating those heroes, our soldiers who fought and died and gave their all in support of our country, in support of our freedoms. As a veteran, as a person who Clubber D is a veteran. A lot of people we do streaming with, all the boys from the boxing crew. I'll make sure you tap in with Skywalker Boxing Media, 86 Boxing Poppy, they all veterans. Bottom Line Sports tomorrow night. We're back. Weeks since Bottom Line Sports was on. That's been the longest y'all been gone without it. Canteen Hot Take Jake and myself will be there tomorrow. Canteen's a veteran. So lots of veterans that I work here, and so praise them for their services that they have us by this country. More importantly today is not just because it's not Veterans Day, is remembering those who actually lost their lives in duty. And so thank the friends that went to wars. My mother served in Afghanistan. So a lot of very proud of all of them. But thank God I've never had anyone that was actually killed in duty. So, I do not personally know anyone. I do know people have been injured severely. Shout out my boy Valentino. I know he's going to check this out on the podcast version. Salute, my brother. I love you. But anyways, if you have anyone in your family or if you know in your life, we want to remember them, want to celebrate them for this country. A happy Memorial Day. I know it's hard to say happy when you're thinking about people that died. Memorial Day to everyone. And I hope that you had fun today on your day off, as most of you do. Some people that don't, I'm sorry for you, but whatever you did, I hope you just realize you were able to, and why you have not just veterans in active duty, but those that have died in the past in service to this country. We salute you. So, yeah, shout out on Memorial Day to everyone in the military, still active duty veterans. Here's a nice salute to you. I like to celebrate military organizations. I am a veteran. The mission continues, obviously, is one of my favorites. If you like to do volunteer work, make sure you continues, vet or civilian. If you like to do a lot of good work in the community. Shout out to a new author and one of my brothers from the military in the Army, Living Du Bois. We're doing Du Bois is what we're doing with this hat. Shout out, support his ALS advocacy and awareness blog. I believe it's alsjourney.com. He is a new author now. Book coming, The Horror of the Eyes. I'm looking forward to it. It's a psychological thriller. Should be pretty awesome. And last, I want to support a distillery out in Manassas, Virginia. They were in Bristow, and they got a new establishment, but they are very huge into supporting the military. It is Arky. Shout out my boy Kelly. I'm not sure if he's watching, but he works at Arky. They're actually opening a new location there in Manassas. So y'all make sure you check them out, support them as they support the veterans. There's also a brewery in Manassas. All the honor brews. Anyways, shout out to everybody again. Salute to all of our military. Thank you for everything you do. All right. Well, like I said, I am Omar, the Professor Fonseca. This is the Professor Semanalmente. We are going to start off with sports today. Please make sure you subscribe at Ball and Buds, BALLANDBUDS. Make sure you subscribe. If you are on YouTube right now, I implore you and ask you, please do me a favor on this Memorial Day as a veteran. Would you please go subscribe to our channel at Ball and Buds? We would really appreciate it. We're looking to gain more subscribers to get us out there to the whole world. So I really, truly appreciate it. Also, if you're watching, even on the replay, but definitely live, smash that like button for me, please. It helps us out in the algorithm. It's free to you, but it is invaluable to us. So we really thank you. That being said, quick lineup for this week. Tomorrow night, Bottom Line Sports, 8 p.m. Eastern. I mentioned that already. Wednesday, special NFL off-season review, banter, brawls, and bravado. We will have on Clubber D, Dirty Mojo, and D. Cleasy. Hopefully, Clutch B will make a performance as well, but will make an appearance as well, but we're not sure. And then finally, Thursday, another episode of Banter, Brawls, and Bravado. That's right, you get two this week. This is with the new crew. We're thinking this may be the actual regular monthly installment of Banter, Brawls, and Bravado. My brother, comedian Bajuan Malave, our MLB insider and regular funny man, Mike Weeby, and obviously my brother Clubber D as well. We will all be on Thursday night, and that's going to be the one that is NSFW. That's going to be the one where we're talking about all of the controversies going on all over the world. We're going to go update you on Sean Diddy Combs. We're going to talk Kanye West. We're going to talk Shannon Sharp. We're going to talk a lot of things that are going to get a lot of controversy anniversary. So obviously that's not for any children. That on Thursday night. So Wednesday night, 3 p.m. for both of those shows. Cool? Got all that out of the way. Let's kick this bad boy off. Yes, we are deep into sports season, my friend, and I am talking about the NBA and NHL conference finals. Yes, we are not at the finals yet, but we are at the conference finals. And so before we even get into the actual conference finals performances, for the NBA, I did want to give a shout out and recognize the MVP and first teamers in the NBA. So you see it right there on your screen. I even did a nice little Canva edit design for you. Y'all like my design skills? Not really. But anyways, see, I put a little MVP there for you for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA as he's better known, won the MVP, 71 out of 100 first place votes. Jokic Nikola from Denver Nuggets got the other 29 first place votes. Giannis Antetokounmpo got 88 out of a possible 100 third place votes. So he was the third runner up. SGA, amazing performance this year. The fact that he won the MVP over Jokic, who statistically had the best season of his career, and he's a former 3-time MVP, is freaking out. It's freaking wild. It's just outstanding. Okay, it's just unfathomable, is what it is. But salute to him. 33-point per game average on 52% shooting, going along with 6.5 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, and a block to go with it. He is the only professor statistic coming up here, y'all, to give y'all some learning. He is the only, he is one of only 2, geez Louise, get your words right, Omar. He is one of only 2 players in NBA history to average 30 points on 50% shooting, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, an assist and a half a game, and a block per game. Who was the other that did it? Only the GOAT, MJ, Michael Jordan, who did it not only once, but twice in 1987-1988 season and 1990-1991 season. The first 2 seasons he won his first 2 MVPs. So obviously, to be able to hit those numbers, you've got to be a spectacular player, and SGA is. And the crazy part is how young he still is. And as well for Tatum. I'm not going to leave my boy off, JT. Salute to JT. I hope you are recovering well from your Achilles surgery. It was a pleasure to meet you in Memphis at the Westin. That was really cool to meet you there in the hotel. But anyways, I hope you are recovering nicely. We need you back as soon as possible. JB, Jaylen Brown, going to hold it down. In the meantime, I'll get to the Celtics' disappointing playoff run in a second, because I know y'all really want to hear what I'm gonna say about it. We'll talk more about it tomorrow, but I'll give you a brief intro today. I'm not very happy. Let's just say that. But I do want to keep talking about these gentlemen here that had such great seasons that they are regarded on your first team. I don't want to forget Donovan Mitchell, who led the Cavaliers to 63 wins, which is amazing for such a young squad that they have. But the Pacers got him up out of there with the quickness, which they're doing to the Knicks right now. Ha ha! All y'all Knicks fans out there, how's it taste? Y'all want to laugh our face? You want to buck up on us on escalators like y'all tough? Like y'all tough? Like y'all something? Right? We still had a chance to win without JT. Now we didn't, because once you go down 2-0, it's hard. But I'm so happy to see the Knicks getting their butts whooped right now by the Pacers. They should have lost last night too. I just love seeing Knick tears. That's what I love seeing. Anyways, we'll get back to that in a hot minute. But yeah, so SGA was there. Let's go to your second team. Aforementioned New York Knicks, Jalen Brunson is on the second team. Golden State Warriors, Stephen Curry. Minnesota Timberwolves guard Anthony Edwards, who we'll talk about in just a moment. Los Angeles Lakers forward LeBron James is still up there in your second team, which is just astonishing at his age. And that's nothing again. I'm a known LeBron hater, but I can only give him props at this point for continuing to be this good in his career. And Cavaliers forward center Evan Mobley, who is an amazing defensive player. Actually, he is the reigning defensive player of the year. Third team consisted of great youngsters: Detroit Pistons guard Cade Cunningham, Thunder guard forward Jalen Williams, really good youngsters there. Then you got a couple guys who've been around for a second but good as well. Knicks center forward Karl Anthony Towns, Cat. Shout out, he went off for 20 in the fourth last night to help the Knicks come back on the Pacers to win that game. Talk about that in just a second. Indiana Pacers guard Tyrese Halliburton. He's had some clutch performances, let's just say, with a couple game-winning shots the last two series. He's throwing it in everybody's faces, including Reggie, with that choking sign. That was tremendous theater. And finally, LA Clippers guard James Harden. Still on your third team. Don't sleep on Mr. Harden there, Mr. James. I shouldn't call him Mr. James because they might think I'm talking LeBron. Mr. Harden, he balled out this season. He is not over the hill yet, even though his age, I believe he's 33 or 34, may suggest otherwise. He's still balling. All right, a couple more shout-outs here on your all-defensive team. Oklahoma City guard Lou Dortz, Atlanta Hawk guard Dyson Daniels, Golden State Warriors Draymond Green, obviously always going to be there as long as he's able to play. The aforementioned Cleveland Cavaliers Evan Mobley, and Houston Rockets guard, second-year guard, really great player, Amen Thompson. Amen to that. And then finally, you're all you know what? Yeah, your all-rookie team. Let's go ahead and give you your all-rookie team as well. You had Stephon Castle from the San Antonio Spurs, who was Rookie of the Year. He was joined by Memphis Grizzlies center Zach Edey, forward Jalen Wells, Atlanta Hawks forward Zachary Riesiker, and Washington Wizards forward center Alex Sarr. So shout out to all of those players that made your all NBA team, your all NBA. Cool. All right. Well, actually moving to the conference as we move into, salute my brother. I actually told them already to tap in with you. So again, y'all make sure you tap in with Skywalker Boxing Media on YouTube, as well as 86 Boxing, Papi Chu and Yayo. Yeah, I already mentioned y'all, told them to tap in with y'all because y'all are veterans. I was talking about Memorial Day earlier. Salute my brother who is also a veteran. Thank you for tuning in, my friend. All right, but as I was saying, we have the conference finals here. I'm going to blow this up a little bit so y'all can see this a little better and me a little less. Oops, that did not do what I wanted it to do there. There it is. Boom. That didn't do what I wanted it to do either. So I don't know why it's not. Come on now. Work with your boy. There it is. There it is. We got it. We good. Wanted to blow that up a little bit for y'all. So as you see here, this is our bracket. This is what matters most here in the middle. You've got the Oklahoma City Thunder and you've got the Minnesota Timberwolves. It is 2-1 Oklahoma City Thunder. So let me get you caught up on what's happened thus far within the series. First of all, SGA and Oklahoma City pretty much dismantled the Warriors in the first two games, had them very, very flustered to the point where their coach just looked like he didn't really know what to say in the locker room. The players did not seem to be enthused they weren't not trying hard, but they just seemed to be like when they knew they were going to lose, it was just kind of like, and I guess they're going to be like that, but it just seemed like they just kind of, I don't know. Anyways, they're back in it because they blown out the Thunder last night by 42 points. So the Wolves are back in this series. If they can win again tomorrow night, they will even this bad boy up. Let's move you over to, and I believe Ant can do it. Look, we just talked about Anthony Edwards. He is one of the best young players in the world. He is awesome, and he can lead a team to the finals, and I believe they can come back. Now, Oklahoma City Thunder is a better team, obviously. They had the better record. They're just a better overall team when they got SGA, Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, and others as they had. Luguentz Dortz. I mean, that's just a squad right there, right? So Oklahoma City Thunder are still favored to win the series, and obviously being up one game still, they are having the advantage at this moment. But don't think that Minnesota is out of it. They did not look good those first two games, but with that blowout last night, a blowout can change a psyche, y'all. When you are a sports team and you get blown out by 40, well, I guess I don't know, that happens in football too. It won't happen in baseball or hockey, but if you get blown out by 40, you are going to feel dismantled. You are going to feel discouraged. You are going to feel depraved, for lack of a better word, in that situation. So we'll see what happens there. We'll keep you updated next week. Let's move it over to the east side. That's where I come from, the east side. Yeah, East Coast. Anyways, I am loving this. This series has been amazing. Now, look, y'all know I am a Celtics fan. We all know that. We're still the defending, reigning, undisputed champions until further notice, which obviously there will be a new one. We'll talk about that in just a second. And yes, I obviously wanted to see my team in the finals, right? Obviously, I wanted to see my team competing for the championship. But if we were going to lose anyways, and God forbid no one wanted to see JT get injured, but if we were going to lose anyways, this is the series I would have wanted to see. This series, y'all, has been amazing. The Pacers and Knicks has been an incredible series. We've seen 3 potential blowouts turn into 3 late game games. Like, this has been awesome. Now, obviously, not all 4 buzzer beaters, but you know what I mean. Like, down to the last second type of games. Wow. Shout out to Aaron Nesmith, first of all. I'm sad that we let you go from the Celtics, but it got us a championship because we got Jrue Holiday out of it. So I'm not mad at all. But I would like to have you now. I'm sorry, my bad. So I was on earlier on, I forget, was it on Facebook or Instagram? And somebody said, had a video, and it said that Tyrese Halliburton plays basketball like Urkel in that one Family Matters episode where he just went off for like 30 points. So if you've never seen this episode of Family Matters, first of all, it's great. I love Family Matters. But so everybody knows who Urkel is, right? You don't expect him to be a good basketball player. But anyways, there was this one, he was on the team, and they had this one game, and he just went off. He was hitting everything from everywhere. But they spliced a video together that showed Halliburton moves that looked very similar to Urkel moves, and it was tremendous, and it was very, very funny resemblance, and I was cracking up for about 5 minutes. Anyways, so this is bottom line, and I mean, I don't need to tell you about the bottom line. I don't even need to tell you about the bottom line sports. I know who can tell us about any bottom line. Thank you, Stone Cold. Thank you, Steve Austin. I appreciate you, brother. Let's have a Steve Weiser soon. Would love to have one with you. Salute. But anyways, great series. If y'all have not been tuned into this series, please make sure you tune in the rest of the way because it's going to continue to be a great series, and I cannot wait to watch the Knicks lose so I can just like this beautiful, delicious bourbon whiskey that I'm sipping on right now. I am going to sip on New York Nick tears, baby. That's delicious. Again, I'm not going to celebrate early, but I got the Knicks losing to the Pacers in this series. They should have lost last night. It should be 3-0. They got lucky they had Karl Anthony Towns on their team. I still got the Pacers here. By the way, I'm not going to say it's going to be a good series either way, whether you put any of these teams together. But it's not going to be exciting per se. Why do I say that? You don't have, now, if you got the Knicks and the Wolves, that would probably be the most exciting of the possibilities here. Why? Because of all the backstories, right? You've got Karl Anthony Towns was traded last year for Julius Randle. So you got that built-in storyline. You got SGA versus Ant. You got the New York Lights, and Minnesota has been even though they languished, what a great word for a Puerto Rican on live television show, even though they languished there for a few years, they were great when they were great for a period there when they had Kevin Garnett, Stephon Marbury. So they've had periods of times that they've been good. So it's not like teams are tuning out of them just because they're the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, obviously, Oklahoma City has the bigger market, as in a television market. They're in one of the biggest television markets in the United States just because they get that whole state of Oklahoma pretty much to themselves. But anyways, and I know that's usually counted by the Metropolitan, but I'm just saying they do get pretty much all of Oklahoma to themselves. Shout out Clutch B, Oklahoma City Thunder fan. He might get what he wants, but yeah, I've got the Thunder and the Pacers in the finals here. I would like to see, like I mentioned, well, let me take that back. I will always want to see the Knicks lose, no matter what. But if you're talking about star power, if you're talking about bringing more theater and storytelling to the finals, obviously the Knicks would be the choice that the NBA would want, at least. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm not lying, right? So anyways, 2020 NBA Finals, there will be a new champion for the seventh, another professor stat for y'all here, another sports professor stat. For the first time in league history, there will be a new champion for a seventh consecutive season. That means that in the past, the NBA has never gone 7 seasons in a row with a new champion every year. There's always been a team that won it back-to-back to break that yearly streak. Not this time. So this will be the first time in league history we'll have that. It's been the Raptors, the Lakers, the Bucks, the Warriors, the Nuggets, and then the Celtics. By the way, the Celtics should have won that one against the Warriors, but that's neither here nor there. These 4 teams do represent a diversity of market sizes, but they've all struggled to win the NBA championship. Among these conference finals, the most recent one was, wait a minute, wait a second for it, y'all. Actually, I need some guesses. Can anybody take a guess as to the last time any of these 4 teams won the NBA championship? Now, if you can actually guess this, I'm going to believe you are an Oklahoma City Thunder fan, and that's a little hint for you there, because they would have been the one to have done it last. I know Clutch B ain't watching because he's got too much shit going on, but if he was, I'm sure he'd be able to answer this question. And while I would normally wait for answers, I don't know that anybody is actually going to. And I'll give you a second. We'll get in touch with some comments here. Oh, yes. My brother, thank you for your service as well. And thank you to everybody for your service. Clubber D chiming in. 1976, he says. Very close. 1979 is the actual year, but I'm sure you know who they are, right, Clubber D? Give me who they were back in the day. But yes, Clubber D, almost on point there. But yeah, 1979. The T-Wolves and the Pacers have never won a title, y'all. They've never won at all. And the Knicks haven't won since what was that, Willis Reed? 1963 or something like that. Anyways, it was, I'm going to just give it. I know Clubber D knows the answer. Wow. Yes. What? The neck, like all get out. Neck yourself right now. That is tremendous work. I'm going to leave that there for a second. The Seattle Seahawks. It's like Titans. Still. Yes, the Seattle Supersonics. Correct. Seahawks. Great. That's great. Y'all make sure you tap in with me and Clever D later this week. Again, we'll have our show Wednesday and Thursday nights at 8:30 each night. So y'all make sure you tap in with us. But yeah, he's correct. The Supersonics, we know what he meant. The Supersonics in 1979 was the last time they won the championship. So that is another Professor Staff for y'all. Moving on to the NA as exciting. So what do we have here? Looking here again in the middle, you got Edmonton up 2-1 over the Dallas Stars. What's happened so far? Let's get you caught up. First of all, Edmonton was pretty much, it was like Oklahoma City. They were, first of all, they've been a very dominant team the past 2 rounds. So blowing the Stars out 6-2 in the last game, not very much of a surprise. Connor McDavid has been playing to the ultimate level. Now, I'm not blasphemous, so I'm not going to call him by the nickname that they call him. And plus, I wouldn't do that anyways, because if anything, the greatest hockey player of all time, as we've talked about before, is the great one, Wayne Gretzky. So get out of here with that crap. But Connor McDavid is excellent. And he has Leon Draisaitl. They've got a really good team there. I do think Edmonton is going to win this series. It seems like Dallas has run out of gas. Mikko Rantanen was their star the last round. He got his first goal. Jason Robertson was out for like 3 months with an injury, or 8 weeks with the injury. So he's just coming back, just scored his first goal. They just can't seem to get themselves out of this rut. Edmonton should win this series. Moving over to the other side, you see it's a complete blowout. The defending champion, Florida Panthers, the Carolina, and in most people's opinions in the NHL world, the Carolina Hurricanes should not have beat the Washington Capitals last round. The Carolina Hurricanes are a very good fundamental team. They're very good defensively. They handle the puck well. They don't turn it over. They are able to do the little things that make a hockey team good. They're not exciting. They don't score enough. They're just not, it's not a team that, okay, so there's a cliche in sports that defense wins championships. That is true in the majority of sports. That is not as true in hockey. And I'm going to say why I said as true. Because goaltending is what matters. And yes, goaltending is defense, but goaltending is not defense as a whole. Goaltending in hockey and in soccer is a lot different than a team defense. Because when you're goaltending, you are the last line of defense. You have to stop every puck or every pause for a ball that comes at you. Pause. So as a goaltender, it's a whole nother level when you need good goaltending versus good defense, team defense. What you need in NHL playoffs is a really high-powered offense and a great goaltender. That's what you need. Is it good to have team fundamentals and a team defense? Sure, it'll help. But that's not what really gets you over the hump when it comes to NHL hockey. So that being said, that's proven here in this series with the Florida Panthers completely dominating. The Hurricanes have a chance tonight to try to at least salvage a gentleman's sweep, but I don't know if that's even going to happen. Either way, we are going to most likely see a rematch from the finals last year when we have the defending champion Florida Panthers versus the Edmonton Oilers. Awesome. All right, cool. That is your NHL update. Now, let's move into some other sports news from the past week that we've had. We've had the start of the WNBA, first of all, and what a start it was. I'm talking, it got heated. And we're going to talk about this on our banter Some bravado on Thursday with Clubber D, comedian, my brother Bajuan Malave, and our MLB insider and my boy Mike Weeby. We're going to talk about this there. But Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark has been the huge story to start the season in the WNBA. Now, this has been pushed as a rivalry, and the WNBA can claim they're not pushing it. But even their commissioner, Kathy Engelberg, has said that this is a rivalry that resembles the Magic Johnson-Larry Bird 80s rivalry. And I do agree to a point. Now, obviously, it's a lot different because the NBA at that point in time was still on tape delay. Even their playoffs and their finals were on tape delay. It wasn't a major sport at that point in time because it had just become a thing after the ABA, which is the American Basketball Association. That was before the NBA, where they had Dr. J and all. Anyways, and the colored ball, the red, white, and blue ball. Pause again. Anyways, I mean, that's not really pause worthy. But anyway, so while I would not put it on that level, I will say it has been a great rivalry, especially, and Caitlin Clark admitted this, geographically, it makes sense, Indiana, Chicago. But she says she put no stock into it. Angel Reese said, look, it was a hard foul. I got hyped up about it, but it is what it is. It was the right call. It's good. Like, we keep it moving. Didn't even mention her name. So these two are not trying to feed into the rivalry, but I can guarantee you that the WNBA wants this rivalry every day and twice on Sundays. This game drew 2.7 million viewers, making it the most watched NBA. Professor Stat again, just here for y'all, just learning y'all things today. Y'all be getting smarter when you listen to me. The WNBA, this is the most watched game in its 25-year history. 2.7 million viewers. So they are definitely pushing into this rivalry, although it does bring up some things out of some people that, before I went on my trip, well, by the way, an amazing trip, family, friends, beaches, beautiful women, just an amazing time. Before I left, we talked about discrimination in the United States and the history of it. By the way, y'all check out my new video on YouTube on the history. I put the snippet up there for y'all this past week. But anyways, racism still exists, y'all. We talk about it on this program all the time. Racism still exists. There are still racist people out there. I hope you're not one of them. If you are a racist person listening to this show, first of all, I hope you came to get education from me, because I will give you the education you need to not be racist. And if you don't want that education and you're still a racist, you can get the hell off right now, because I don't need you listening to me. And I won't say that again. Let's move it on. WNBA has strongly condemned the racism, hate, other things coming out of this game. Apparently, there were some things said from the Indiana Fever crowd. Now, Dave Portnoy, I believe he's an Indiana Fever fan. I don't know why else he would. I think he's a huge Indiana Fever fan. I don't know why, but anyways, he came out and said that he was there and he didn't hear anything, and he doesn't believe that the Indiana Fever fans would say and do things or act like that. But this is not the first time that this has been accused. This has been accused now ever since Caitlin Clark came in the league last season. This was said plenty of times last season from African-American players who have said that there were things said to them from the fans in the stands. Alyssa Thomas, who I trust wholeheartedly. She went to the University of Maryland. She is a Terp, a fellow Terp. Shout out. She is a very good person. She does a lot for the community. She's a loving person. I do not believe and know, I do not know her, and my sources do not know her to be a liar. Even she said this was some of the worst actions she's ever seen from a fan base. So if I'm hearing that from someone, and I don't know her personally, but I trust that her. I've heard her talk plenty of times. I know where she comes from. I've talked to sources within the University of Maryland basketball organization that have told me how good of a person she is. So I don't assume that she's going to be making that stuff up. But anyways, we'll see what happens. There's a huge investigation going on into it. Huge investigation. But they did launch a No Space for Hate campaign to try to detect hateful comments online and emphasis on safety measures within the stadiums and to reinforce mental health, all to try to protect the players. So we'll see where this goes from here. But the WNBA obviously off to a heated start. In other sports news, NFL, rule changes abound. We will talk about, again, we're going to talk about all of this on the Bottom Line Sports tomorrow night. We won't talk hockey. We don't talk about that there. You got that here. Everything else we'll talk about in depth tomorrow night. I'm just giving y'all some previews here. But the NFL made some rule changes. We'll also talk about this in depth on Wednesday for our NFL show. But the NFL has now made it legal, has now allowed their players to play on the flag football team in the Olympics. So what's going to happen? 2028, in 3 years, they will allow only one player from any team to be able to put on the squad. Obviously, you're going to have a quarterback, you're going to have a couple running backs, you're going to have some receivers, right? You have a couple tight ends probably, because especially if they can snap the ball like a Brock Bowers and play center. You'll have some defenders on the defensive side of the ball. So they're going to have to fill out this roster. It will be 3 years from now, so keep that in mind when you're thinking about your fantasy flag football team. But because Patrick Mahomes at that point probably would be 31 or something like that, so you might want to even skew a little younger. Lamar Jackson's going to be probably in his 30s. You might want to go Jaden Daniels, who will be only like 27 at that point in time or something like that. So anyways, that's pretty cool that they're letting them do it. I personally, if I were the league, I would not have. I think flag football is a huge potential for injuries, non-contact injuries, like ACLs, like meniscuses, like all these other things. And I just worry that they will get hurt and that you're hurting these superstar $1 million players. If it were me and I was one of the owners, I'd be like, hell no, you ain't going to play. You know how much I pay you? I pay you $50 million a year. No, you are going to take your knees and you are going to sit your knees in a hot tub all summer long. I'm going to get some girls to feed you some grapes and you're going to be all right. All right, now sit your ass on the sideline and be all right. Damn. No, you're not going to play. You're going to fake an injury is what you're going to do. I'll give you an extra couple mil just to fake the injury. But anyways, my team personally, I think I would still go at that point in time with Lamar Jackson, but I do understand the Jaden Daniels pick. I would also go with either Jahmyr Gibbs or Bijan Robinson in the running back spot. You want somebody who can catch the ball as a running back in flag football. But I could see how you might go Saquon Barkley or Jonathan Taylor. Derrick Henry probably going to be a little too old at that point, and you don't need somebody going to run anybody over anyways. You need somebody going to be able to juke, move them hips like Shakira. Pause. Anyways, wide receivers, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson are the obvious picks there. So I don't even think we need to talk anything else about that. NFL also did not ban the tush push. The Bills, who actually are the second most use that was a bad way to phrase that. They are the team that uses the tush push the second most in the league. They were the ones. No, excuse me, it was the Packers who do it the third most in the league. They were the ones that brought it up originally, but the Bills, who all ran the second most, also opposed it. This is the tush push, which the Eagles popularized, where you have the quarterback line up behind the centers and the running backs come through and push the quarterback over the first down line or into the end zone. The Eagles are pretty unstoppable at this play, which is why I think a lot of teams get mad about it. But at the same time, I, as a purist, know that the NFL for the longest time had rules where you could not touch another player or push them or help them to try to gain yardage. And I think that should still be the case. I don't think you should be able to do this. I think you should have to do that on your own. But whatever, it wasn't banned. There were 10 teams that voted against it. So you needed 24. You needed 24 teams to ban it. Only 22 is what they got. So they were 2 votes shy of banning the tush push. So there's your NFL news. Let's catch up on some comments here real quick. Amul says, was the hate about Angel Reese because she's kind of doing that to herself? Some people may say that. I would say in the way that I view it, I view her passion, which can definitely be misconstrued, especially when it comes to stereotypes and biases and things like that, especially for African-American women. I think her passion is confused for like maliciousness, and that's just not the case. Is she confident in herself? Sure. Is she possibly a little cocky or arrogant? Sure. But every superstar is, and she damn right is a superstar. Let's not get that twisted at all. Yeah, she may not be the shooter Caitlin Clark is. She may not have the offense that Caitlin Clark is, but that's like saying that, and I'm not saying she's Charles Barkley, but saying like Charles Barkley or Dennis Rodman, right? Somebody who scores in the post and gets a lot of rebounds and plays good defense. I mean, you're not going to say they're a bad player. I love Angel Reese. I think she is a great player. I get the racial divide. I get that's why they bring this up. I get that's why. And I'm not saying Amul is doing that at all. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is there are a lot of people out there that do this, that do confuse her passion or maybe even her ultra gamer personality, her aggression when it comes to playing the game of basketball, in a way that it wouldn't be taken that way if it were coming from someone else that maybe didn't have a rivalry with Caitlin Clark. There's a lot of other girls, white and black, in the league that display that sort of passion and aggression on a play-by-play nightly basis that don't get the same hate she does. She gets a lot of that hate, let's be honest, because she's in this rivalry with Caitlin Clark, and the rivalry is in part and parcel black and white related. I mean, we can't say it's not. Well, none of us here are blind to the fact, right? Just like when Magic and Bird came in, black and white. Back in the day, that's how to separate basketball, right? You had to, yeah, in the most part. I'm not saying all for everyone, but for the most part, right? And the Boston Celtics had more of the Caucasian fan base, while the Lakers had more of the African-American fan base. It just is what it is. I think now that also is made up to and Amul would know this quite well as he is a huge Boston sports fan and has been there plenty of times. It's also the makeup of the population there. I do realize the Northeast is made up of more Caucasian folks and the West Coast is made up of, especially in that area, a lot more African-American folks. But what I'm saying here is that in our country, especially in this time that we have the divide that we do now. No, I know you're not, and I'll get to your comment in a second. I know you're not. I am personally. I know personally just from seeing it and realizing that some people do take things over. There are people who are racist out there. And this is what I was talking about earlier when I was talking about it. There are still people that are racist out there and that are willing to put that on the grand stage and say what they need to say or feel like they need to say or want to say or whatever, which we wholeheartedly on this network completely disavow any sort of racism. So again, if you're a racist, unsubscribe from my channel immediately. Anyways, oh my God, Amul, you're going to get me in trouble. Hold on. Let's get you. Not talking racial divide, but she does draw quite a bit. Agreed. But again, is that wrong to try to be boastful or cocky or even arrogant to be able to get yourself out there more? Some people would say that's smart marketing. I'm a marketer. I would say try to peacock. When I went to the club last night or Saturday night, we was in the VIP. I wore my $1,000 Tucci, on my wrist. I wore the New York Mets, spring training orange hat just so I could peacock. Just so the girls feel like, oh, this dude VIP and he rocking the $1,000 gold watch. Obviously, he got something going on with him. I won't say how that worked out because it worked out well, but I'm just saying, you got to do these things in life. You got to put yourself out there. I do think she is on that Draymond Green mark, but I don't think that's bad. again. Like, Draymond Green is going to be a Hall of Fame, most likely. I'm not sure if the technical fouls will keep him out. I don't imagine that would be something that would keep him out. Obviously, he's not going to be a first ballot, but Draymond Green's most likely a Hall of Famer. So, if that's what you're aiming to be, shit, it's better than being Mr. Joe Blow Nobody. You know what I mean? Actually, a lot of cute Indian women are in Boston. I love it. My man Amul always with that game, baby. Yeah, player. You go get him, my boy. Yeah. Hey, Amul is single and trying to mingle. So there's lady single out there in the Arlington area looking for a sugar daddy. He is your man. You ain't gonna get me in trouble, brother. It's my show. I say and do whatever I do what I want. I do what I want. It's my show. I can say and do whatever the hell I want to do. Anyways, please don't go to the club so much, Omar. Don't want you. Look, I probably would not have been at the freak-offs considering what we've heard so far. We'll talk about that in just a second. So thank you for the awesome segue, because we're about to get into that in about 5 minutes. We're going to talk update on John Diddy Combs. This has been crazy, the stuff that's coming out of here. So I probably wouldn't have been at the freak-off because seems like it was a little bit more of intimate affairs than we were originally led to believe. We were led to believe that these were like huge like orgy parties, but it turns out they were Diddy a win and some escorts, shall we say. We'll get into that in just a second. But you know, my boy is hey, when you know people and you can do things, you can be VIP. And I've been chilling in the VIP a lot lately. And when you're in VIP, the ladies want to be with you. They want to just, they just keep coming up and you get to like shoo them away. It's just a wonderful thing. Even the guys, like 3 guys last night or Saturday night, and they come up and they're like, yo, let me on stage with you, bro. And I was like, nah, man, what? I don't even know you. Who are you? Get out of here. Like, what are you? And like the girls would like ask for drinks. I'm like, nah, we ain't doing all that. You ain't getting no free drinks from our stash over in these parts. Costs a lot of money to throw a damn VIP table. It's like $500. Anyways, y'all should talk hockey on BLSS. I don't know what BLSS is. It is TBLS. It's the Bottom Line Sports. But okay, you're saying Bottom Line Sports Show. Got it. That's actually not bad. I like that. So yeah, technically, I guess it would be TBLSS, the Bottom Line Sports Show. But anyways, I like talking hockey, but Hot Take Jake and Canteen I don't think they know very much about hockey. Well, Jake knows a little bit. Canteen, I don't think he watches hockey. I love you, Canteen, my brother, and I love Jake. But yeah, y'all watch tomorrow night. Tomorrow night will be the first episode back for the Bottom Line Sports in 6 weeks, and your boy will have a huge announcement in his professor's mixed bag. So look forward to that. Anyways, moving it on, a couple more sports news before we move on into our Sean Diddy Combs trial. College football, the CFP has been changed, y'all. Unanimously voted this past Thursday, approved a straight seeding of the top 12 teams. Last year, what happened? We saw Boise State, Arizona State, who were champions, conference champions, but were not ranked in the top 4, were still put in the top 4 because of the rule that said conference champions had to be ranked in the top 4. Instead, where they would have been ranked was lower, we would have had a lot different games and a lot different outcomes, and maybe we wouldn't have seen we still would have seen the same outcome. Ohio State was going to win, but we would have seen many of the different games in this, like maybe Oregon would, it doesn't matter. We're not going to get back into revisionist history. Just know that from now on, it's going to be 1 through 12 conference champions. That doesn't matter anymore. You're just going to get seeded straight up, and that's the way that it should be. Now, more other news. Rumors came out this week. The Big Ten and the SEC had secret meetings, y'all. My sources tell me secret meetings to expand the CFP to 16 teams. And they would require that the Big Ten and the SEC get 4 bids automatically each. ACC and Big 12 will get 2, and the group of 5 would only get 1. No, what are we doing? Look, God bless. It's going to come out to the super conferences anyways. We're just going to have 2 massive conferences of like 32 teams each. It's not going to make a difference in the end. But for now, can we not do this? 12 teams is enough. We don't need no freaking NBA play-in, group of 4, NCAA play-in game. No one wants to see South Carolina play Iowa. Come on now, that's the Cheez-It Bowl, man. Don't nobody want to see that. That's the whack sauce bowl. That's what that is. Don't nobody no. Stop it. When y'all started tinkering with the BCS, y'all jacked that whole thing up. Then y'all got it right for a little bit, and now we're just stop messing with stuff, y'all. Make it easy. Make it simple. It's fine where it is. 12 teams. Don't go anymore. I can't take it. Anyways, all right, we'll keep you updated on that. Anyways, wow, did you hear about this? Chess champion. Let me see what catching up on some comments. I'll let you know. Oh, you good, bro? Hey, comments help us out in the algorithm. Every time someone comments, Facebook well, I guess it doesn't really matter on Facebook too much since it's more about friends and family. But if it's on YouTube, it definitely helps. Yes, this did happen. Happened this past week. Big Ten, SEC had secret meetings. The rumors have started to come out, and all of the other conferences are pissed off. Not sure why it's gotten buried. I assume because the SEC and the Big Ten didn't want it to come out. But it started to leak, and as I just mentioned, they want to happen. I don't see that happening now because they're already changing it next year, and they've already changed it once. They've already changed it now every single year that has been in. Okay, all right, calm down. Let's pray for whoever is on the other end of that. May they be safe. Don't know what's going on there. It's football. All right, calm down. I hear you. Go save lives. Salute. You can take a sip of it. Oh, so you know why ambulances do that? I learned this. So when they're coming towards your location, you know why they get real loud and then all of a sudden they pass by, you can barely hear them, right? It's because the way that their sirens are, I guess, attuned would be the right word there. I don't know. Someone can help me out if you're an EMT or something, know better than me. But anyway, so the way that the sirens are created, they make the sound to envelop the area that they're coming into. But once they've passed that area, it's like the cone of sound out of the sirens are made in a way that they don't protrude. What a great word for a Puerto Rican on a live TV show. They don't protrude backwards. So that's why right when like an ambulance passes you can barely like hear it once it goes down the street. That's why. Just a fun fact. Anyway, moving on. Chess. Yes, we talk chess here too, baby. Little chess champion. Check this out, y'all. This is crazy. Chess champion Magnus Carlsen recently played to a draw. Now, Magnus Carlsen is the best chess player in the world, and maybe ever. There'll be some debate between him and the original king of chess, and maybe even Bobby Fischer. Where is Bobby Fischer? Bobby Fischer. Bobby Fischer. Where is Bobby Fischer? Bobby Fischer. That was an old SNL skit. That's hilarious. Anyways, get this. Chess champion Magnus Carlsen recently played to a draw, a tie against 143,000 combined chess players. What? Mind blown. This is crazy. So what happened? They invited all these different chess aficionados to this stream. 143,000 of them. They all got to, well, not a stream. They weren't like all on together, but this platform where they all got to vote on every single move that they made. So you had 100. Now, obviously, you're going to have competing strategies, so that probably didn't help them in this case. But you would think the overwhelming amount of the vote would be people that decided to do the right move. Even then, they could only tie this one chess champion. This proves that he is the best chess player in the world. This is crazy. It is estimated size is like a big city. It's like he beat a big city of people. The game took, and check this too, this is crazy. The game took 46 days to complete and had 32 moves. So obviously, if you're doing voting and stuff like that, you probably got to give like a day for a vote so everybody, the people that don't use the internet every day or whatever can get on and make their vote. So that's why it took 46 days. But that's crazy. You mean to tell me this dude beat 143,000 people could not beat one man? Salute to Magnus Carlsen for what was a clearly epic completion. Yes, what the heck, chess news? Hey, your boy, the professor. We don't stray from any topics on this program. And yes, hilarious to the days of completion. Yeah, that's my goal, brother. That's the goal. I'm trying to be the next I don't know, Stephen Colbert, maybe a little Seth Meyers, maybe a Jimmy Kimmel. I'll work with the Roots. We can do that as long as they let me drink on the show. I gotta have my whiskey with me. You know how that goes. But salute to all those gentlemen as well. And the Roots. Love the Roots. Let's see. You hear about the person who beat AI at chess too. That was wild. Yeah, I did not look into it deeply, but I did read a headline on that. That is crazy. Like if you can beat the machine that just basically learn these moves and knows all the different combinations that you can make. Now, I am by no means a chess player. I like the game of chess. I am not good at the game of chess per se. Like I know what the pieces can do, but I don't know what you should do with those pieces. Like I'm not going to go out and be like, oh, move my rook to J7 to, no, I'm not doing all that. I just play with my knowledge that I know. But I get it. Great game. It's it's better than, I guess, more intelligent, at least more thought process than checkers. So there you go. Going to see the Roots. Oh yes, beautiful. Yes, are you seeing them at Wolf Trap? By the way, I got the Wolf Trap email and saw that they were performing, and I said to myself, "Damn, I wish I was there to go to that because I would love to." I've seen the Roots live a couple times, 2 or 3 times, and it was amazing every time. The Roots are definitely, a band. They're hip hop, but I don't want anybody to get crazy. Yes, they are hip hop, but don't think like, oh, I can't listen to them because I don't like hip hop. The Roots are so much more than that. They are a band. They are a musical assortment of a group that just happens to have one of the greatest. By the way, let's not even fake the funk right now. Black Thought is one of the top 5, maybe even top 3 lyricists of all time. Hands down. He's definitely in the top 5. Now, you may not have him in the top 3. I think I have him in my top 3. All right, you know what? Quick aside here. I'm going to give my top 5 hip-hop MCs. Number 1, there's no doubt about it. The guy that got me into hip-hop, my teacher, KRS-One, Chris Parker, the greatest hip-hop lyricist in my eyes of all time. I mimic my rap lyricism after him I've taken a lot of stuff from him. So KRS-One, always number 1 for me personally. Number 2, I'm gonna go. I always get tied up between like Rakim or Big Daddy Kane. I really like old school hip hop, y'all. So it's probably a tie between them. Anyways, you know what? I don't want to do this in order. Who else is up there? Andre 3000 from Outkast is also there. Ghostface Killah from the Wu-Tang Clan is also up there. You can throw the Jizza up there as well. Who else you got up there that could be in your top 5? I know a lot of people would probably say Eminem, and yes, he's in my top 10. I wouldn't put him in my. You know what? He might be right there on the top 5 precipice, maybe. He's not my top 5, but he'd be in my top 10. He'd be in my top 10. Well, I'm not going to keep doing this, but you get the point. Those are my top MCs of all time. You're okay at chess. We've played. Not sure if you've ever played Dad. No, I didn't. May he rest in paradise. Great man. Miss him. May your pops again. We remember his memory. I don't actually. I'm not that good, like I said. So hey, chess isn't really my thing. I know you like it a lot more than I do. So hey, I'm sure you would beat me again now. Going to Wolf Trap. I don't think I'm going to be around. I don't know when that show is, but I don't think I'm going to be around. I believe I looked at the date and I wasn't going to be there. But I would love to go if I was. Best Roots show for you, Kennedy Center, pre-pandemic. Everything pre-pandemic was free. I don't know if I would say better, but it was carefreer. Yeah, probably too. They the Op House. They come. Don't get a lot of. And I say this in air quotes, hip hop, because the roots are not necessarily hip hop per se. They're just good music in general. But anyways, we don't get a lot more acts. That's okay. That's okay. I knew where I was moving when I moved here. Shout out Nashville. We love Nashville. We do. Consider 2019 when you saw that Donald Trump became president has made a lot of changes to the Kennedy Center. A lot of people that previously would have performed at the Kennedy Center are now pulling out of performances because of things that President Donald Trump has enacted. He has taken away things like LGBTQ performances. He has taken things away. There's a list of things that he's done there at the Kennedy Center. And while I am not one to say whether I agree or I don't, because I don't know very much about it other than it's from DC where I'm from, and it's a performing arts center. I think I went there one time, but I don't even know if I've been there before. But anyways, I know it's a historic venue in DC, and I know that a lot of established artists play there, and a lot of those established artists are upset from the changes that are being made by President Donald Trump, to include all the changes with the LGBT, the DEI, retired. Oops, wait, a couple more comments here. Let's see what you got here. They played the Opera House because they were seated behind the stage. I joined the show. I'm making a late dinner. I will say this, just like I said the last time, you're perfectly good to join the show, my brother, but once I start to talk about the president, that's kind of thing you're trying to stay away from. So, and I am going to get into that, Mr. Diddy. But anyways, I have to talk about this, y'all. Have you ever had a TV show that was your go-to TV show? Like, I know growing up when we were kids, I know Amul will know this, TGIF. Thank God it was Friday, right? You had all those great shows on a Friday night when you're a kid and you're not old enough to go out and drink or get girls and you have to sit at home. Okay, fine, that's cool. But at least we had TGIF. We had something to look forward to. You know what I mean? Appointment viewing. What are your appointment viewing shows? Hit me in the comments, y'all. Does anybody have any appointment viewing? Now, I know these days with streaming, we don't really have network TV as much anymore. Now, we do have network TV, obviously. So you still may have some appointment viewing TV shows out there. If you have any, please drop them in the chat. I want you to let me know. What are yours? But what are mine? I have two appointment viewing shows. And those were Around the Horn and PTI. Pardon the interruption. As you all know from watching this show, you know that I am a huge sports fanatic. It is one of my ESPN. My TV rarely leaves ESPN. It's pretty much just sports Doesn't really matter. Anyways, what does matter here in this case that ever since Around the Horn and PTI came out, this was, I think PTI actually, while Max Kellerman was the host on Around the Horn. Anyway, from 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern, every day. All I had to do, like work or school, or if it's not something that was possibly blocking me from watching it, that was actually life important and I had to do, there would not be a time where I would ever not watching the show, listening, enjoying, liking my sport stats from these shows. I even did it and still do it now. I see the shows live. Now, this is a lot easier now with the streaming. I just back to watch them, so it doesn't really matter. I also have ESPN Plus, so I could just watch it there too on the replay. But YouTube, it's condensed, and I can watch it on 2 speeds, so I get it done faster and all that. But anyway, what does matter is I did not, and I do not miss episodes around the PTI, even if they're from days before I go back and watch them. And boy, was it moving. I'm an emotional person, so every once in a while I will shed a man tear, and I shed a man tear. Because I knew that I was never going to see this show again, a show that I love so much, a show that I go out of my way to watch. And so just seeing like it's like I was thinking to myself, like, I've been watching this show for 23 years every day. It's like I'm losing it's like a fucking wife. Like it's like I'm losing a girlfriend, and I'm like, why is this happening to me? Long show, 23 years, 4,953 episodes, longest episode, not longest episodic, but most episodic TV show. Obviously not longer than PTI, but in terms of sports and in terms of TV shows in general, more shows than Sesame Street, more shows than MASH, more shows than The Simpsons. And obviously Simpsons was weekly, this is daily, but still, it means something. Sports media like me. But all I want to say is, and I'm gonna get Tony Reale on an interview. I'm gonna get him on this network, and we're gonna do an interview. I'm gonna reach out to him. I know right now he's inundated. Wonderful word for putting on live and get him for an interview because I really want to interview him. And again, it's very sad. It's like I'm losing a part of me. I'm very, very sad. Like I went today because I even schedule my gym around ATH and PTI. If I don't go to the gym before 4 o'clock, because it's 4 o'clock Central Time here, I wait to watch the shows and then go to the gym after. Like that's how much I love these shows. I schedule I go into the back by 4 for Around the Horn. And I was like, oh, shit, it's already 3. Am I going to have enough time to get the workout in I want? I was like, you know what? And I was like, wait a second. It's Memorial Day. They don't do shows on holidays. And then I was like, wait a second. It's never coming on again. And I just sat there with the most dead look in my eyes, just looking to outer space and asking God why. Why? But you know what pisses me off more? ESPN. How the hell are you not going to have anything ready? You mean to tell me you're going to take this show off the air, which, by the way, 4,953 episodes, You couldn't have gone 47 more days and made it to an even 5,000. I hate when people do that. As an OCD and as a mathematic, I hate when people don't go to even numbers. Just go to the damn 5,000 and make it an even 5,000 so we can all be happy with ourselves. What else did you have going on for the next 47 days with these people? Nothing. And then what are they replacing it with? Guess. Someone give me a guess as to what they're replacing it with. SportsCenter. Like we don't already get enough SportsCenter all damn day long. I don't need more SportsCenter. Oh, God. God bless. Anyways. Not being ready, ESPN, that comes on. I will continue to at least have 30 minutes of appointment viewing every day. GB in the house. Shout out GB and everybody watching on the Let's Talk Sports Network. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in on Let's Talk Sports. Make sure you subscribe at Ball and Buds, BALLANDBUD. Code up at the top. Scan that to our follow, Instagram, so much more. That being said, also hit that like button if you're watching. We appreciate it. You know, contrary to popular opinion, a lot of basketball fans have a feeling either way about Doris Burke. A lot of people don't like her per se. I actually think Doris Burke is very smart basketball. And I actually listening to Doris Burke. I know that, again, there's sometimes where she's off base, obviously, but I believe more times than not, she's a basketball. Amul chimes in. Also, don't get ESPN Plus. They're releasing another streaming service. They are. By the way, do you know the name of it? It's ESPN. It's just ESPN streaming. That's it. Like, they couldn't come up with anything better. These companies don't know what the hell they're doing. I'm a marketer. Y'all, if you need marketing help, just call me. Omar.Fonseca at MVP.com. We're not going to. M is in my. God bless. I forgot from my phonetic alphabet. My mom's going to be so upset at me right now. S is in Sigma, and that's not right. M is in Mary again, and then B is in boy. God bless. I forgot my phonetic alphabet on live TV wearing an Air Force shirt. That is the most disappointed I've been in myself, and I've done a lot of disappointing things in my life, y'all. Eulogy low exists first. Let's see what happens. All right, y'all. Like I said, make sure you subscribe to Ball and Buds and also hit that like button for us. We are now going to move into. It's been a crazy, crazy week, y'all. Have y'all been paying attention to the pop culture entertainment world? Have you been paying attention to the Sean Diddy Combs trial? Have you been paying attention to this absolute madness? This has been absolute madness. If you have not been paying attention to this trial and you like this sort of, I'm into pop culture stuff. I was obviously going to be on top of this. We talk about this, and we will talk about it Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, on Banter, Brawls, and Bravado. We will talk about this in more in depth. I'm just giving you the updates here of what's happened. Sean Diddy skipped claims by 4 women that Combs abused him. He was arrested last September, charged with federal racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. One of the most notable witnesses, one that's most known, the one that testified last week, Cassandra Ventura, better known as Cassie, who had a 10-year relationship with Diddy, and who Sean Diddy Combs was on camera. We talked about this on our old Banter Brawls and Bravado episode, hitting Cassie in a hotel on the security footage. We saw this. We talked about it, how horrible this was. He acknowledged that allegation, but denies all other allegations. And as we talked about on the last episode of this show, where I mentioned that the jury trial selection was started, he said he's not guilty. I'll say this again. He's not pleading guilty and not accepting the plea deal. That either means one of two things. Either he is crazy as hell and he thinks for some reason he's innocent, and he's not. When you hear these testimonies, you're not innocent. Okay? Something, we'll get into it in just a second. Anyways, or, and this will come out in a little bit here when we talk a little bit later about celebrities, he believes he has enough money to be able to get out of this. Some people agree. We'll talk about that in just a second. But what has happened? He has these 5 federal charges. The 55-year-old has been held without bail. The prosecutors allege that Diddy led a criminal enterprise starting in 2004 using his music and business empire to intimidate, exploit, and traffic women for sex. The indictment details claims of abuse, coercion, efforts to parties with 4 of the accusers that testified, including, I mean, you got to love this name, right? For a male escort, the Punisher. I mean, we ain't got to get an innuendo or anything here, but I mean, I pretty much see why he gave himself the nickname the Punisher. Pause. Dude is okay. I'm not even going to say what I was going to say. But Diddy has claimed these were sensual. If convicted on all accounts, he could serve life in prison. Probably not going to happen, but could. There has been some explosive testimony, y'all. So first of all, David James, a former personal assistant to Combs, everyone served him. He demanded all the things that they did. He demanded what people did and when they did it and the times that they did it, when they were in the building, whatever. Also, who came on the stand? Cassie Ventura. And we talked about everything that she's been through with him. But now she has to testify about all the sexual encounters that happened, all the times that Diddy abused her. It came out that the mother of Cassie came out and said that Diddy tried to get $20,000 from the family and did successfully get $20,000 from the family to pay him back because he paid for all this stuff for Cassie when they were in a Kid Cudi, a rapper, testified that Diddy burned his Porsche with a Molotov cocktail because he was in a relationship with Cassie, that he showed up at his house and threatened him, and all of these other things that definitely could be considered, at least at the very least, using your business to, at the very least, right? That's the very least right now. She also cross-examined friends of Cassie, including former associates, and what they knew about Diddy. So again, we'll talk about this later. Diddy is claiming again that he is innocent and all he was is a freak who just likes to have a lot of sex, and that he didn't do anything wrong. He paid for these escort, including the Punisher, who I am not going to give his account on this show. I will give his account on Thursday's show. This show is for everyone, and I don't want anyone to think you can't let your kids watch this show. You can let your kids watch this show. Thursday, don't let the kids watch that show. We will talk about what this man said. It gets a little graphic, gets a little disgusting, gets a little crazy. But these events did happen, and they do need to be detailed, because if we're going to be professional media people and professional journalists like I am, I have to actually tell you what I know. and what I read. So anyways, Morgan did detail 2 alleged assaults that she witnessed of Diddy pushing and hitting Ventura in the Hollywood Hills home, and another one in Jamaica in 2013. We all know about the hotel incident that happened as well. So again, a lot of things going into this trial. While Diddy can claim his innocence sexually, again, if you're buying these escorts to come and have sexual relations with your partner, that seems like, to me, transportation across, I don't know if it's across state lines, but transportation to engage in said prostitution. Just me. Sounds like that hits that on the head. No pun intended. Wow. No pun intended. I am very sorry about that. Anyway, we'll see what happens, but we'll keep you updated on that in Thursday for more of that and other things, like what they found in the hotel room, what they found in the houses, aside from just a lot of baby oil, which I guess, good Lord is right, my friend. Good Lord is right. Forgive him, for he do not know what he do. Let's just say that. Anyways, one more piece of news in pop culture before we move on to U.S. news. Y'all, is the update here. You remember I talked about this story a few months ago, 23andMe. And I know some of y'all out there went and gave your DNA to 23andMe to try to find out how much percent Italian you are. Like that really matters. Well, I hope you know you got duped. And I hope you have deleted your information like I told you to on a few episodes ago. And if you haven't, you better go delete your information now. What happened? American biotechnology firm Regeneron has bought genetic testing company 23andMe out of bankruptcy for a price of $256 million. It represents a 95% decrease in value from peak value of $6 billion just 4 years ago in the pandemic, when all y'all wanted to know how much percent of whatever damn country you had in you because you was bored sitting at home and thought it was wise to spit or pee or do whatever the hell you got to do to give your DNA to people you don't know. Now look, I was in the military. The government already got my damn DNA. Nothing I can do about it. But you don't just give your DNA away to private companies and you don't know what the hell they're going to do with it. Well, let me tell you what they were doing with it. Quote from the co-founder of 23andMe, and was just what, excuse me for not pronouncing this, Wojcicki. Quote, from day one, 23andMe was set up to be a database that we could use the information for research purposes. Let me repeat that. Quote, from the co-founder of 23andMe, and Wojcicki. From day one, it was set up to be a database where they could leverage your DNA, your information for research purposes. Did you know that's what they were using it for? I bet you didn't. Bet you thought they were going to be secure and safe with your information. I didn't do it. I ain't doing it. I ain't giving my DNA to nobody I don't know. Nah. And I know some of y'all have because I know who you are. I know who I'm talking about. I know who's in my mind right now, at least. A couple of y'all. I told you not to do it. Told you when you were doing it not to do it. Better go delete your information. You can still delete your information, and you should, because once Regeneron takes over, they have already said that they are amassing all this information so they can use it for their products. They're using all this information for future products and future businesses and future services. So if you don't want your information being used, you may want to go and delete it. This is a treasure chest of genetic data. Regeneron, by the way, if you didn't know, were the ones that came up with the first Ebola treatment. So there is that. Maybe you think might be helping out the world and you want to let them keep your data. Well, then go right ahead. I don't care. Now, I'm just telling you what I think you should do as the professor. The professor thinks you should go delete your data immediately. Immediately. And if not, don't be surprised when your shit gets stolen. Cool. All right. Well, that was entertainment. Make sure, again, y'all hit that like button if you're watching. Please, it is invaluable to us and it is free to you. So thank you. Hit that like button. Hit that heart, that laugh, whatever it is. And as well, make sure you subscribe on the button, the QR code right up top where you can hit our link tree, subscribe to YouTube, find the Instagram and all stuff. By the way, shout out my brother, Francis Long, for the microphone and the new camera. I appreciate you so much. One thing, but the thing is, like when I'm sitting here like this, it will not get me in the frame as I like it. So like right now where my head is, bigger States news. Let's get you caught up in the world of what has happened here in the United States the past few weeks. First of all, I want to send some prayers up here in a couple of different stories. First, two Israeli excuse me, Fader and Sarah Milgram, who were killed outside the Capitol Jewish Museum in Washington, D.C. The shooting highlights rather how movements religious movements, regional movements for your country moves forward. We'll talk about in a little bit when we update you on the Israel-Hamas war there in the Gaza Strip. The hatred between these factions, for lack of a better word, to use a wrestling term, they are Jewish or because they're Palestinian, that person is a story I read. And as many KKK members as he could. That way, he then. What happened? All right. For some reason, StreamYard told me my audio went out there for a second. Can y'all hear me? Someone let me know you can hear me in the comments. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Mic check, 1. Oh, am I back? Can y'all hear me? And I'm freaking out, man. And I don't know what's happening. I'm getting out on me over here. It was going fine and all, which I don't want to do. But I also don't want to just keep messing with this thing. 1 2 1 2. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Hey. Can you hear me? Oh, you can hear me. Okay, cool. Never mind. Producer in the comment, let me know that you can hear me. Thank you, producer. I appreciate you. All right. These, as is wont to happen. Very interesting. No, it's not me. I'm not actually talking right now. The internet connection. And it may just be that we need to, there we go. We caught up. We back. We back. We good? All right. Cool. Technical difficulties there. I don't know what happened. Everything just started going black and freaking out. In the middle of a war in a country where they may not have the safety that we have here. And there's a lot more that goes into that. But if love could rule all, then we would make this world a much better place. And it looks like, yes, we can do that. All right, cool. More prayers up. Former President Joe Biden, 82 years old, has been diagnosed with stage 5 or group 5 of prostate cancer. Wow. So prayers up for him. Hopefully they say that it is hormone sensitive, which will allow for effective management. They are reviewing treatment operations as of now, but we do send our prayers up to the former president, wishing him, obviously we don't wish anybody any ill will on this program at all. We love all people on this program, no matter who you are, unless you're a racist. That's the only time we don't love Jewish. So again, to him came out, which tells me that at a time where someone could be dealing with such a tragedy in their life, that the conservative side would turn it into a conspiracy. And again, if you watch this program, you know I do not care for either party. I am not a conservative. I am not a liberal. I am an independent. I am right down the middle. I do not like either party, as I have told y'all many times before. And I will quote my brother Francis Long, who I mentioned earlier. But all politicians are liars, cheaters, and scums. Woo! Liars, cheaters, and scums. Know how I feel about they're all out for themselves, they're all out for their family, for their constituents. we'll get more into this later too. I am going to do a Mind of the Professor on using your office and using your position to essentially insider trading, but we'll get even deeper than that. Anyways, that'll be for a future episode. For the fact that this news coming out, the right turned it into a conspiracy theory and said, and it's true the cancer spread this far in just that short period of time, it would have been caught by now. Agreed. I think we can all agree on that. I think we can all agree that Joe Biden has probably had this cancer for a few years now. We probably all agree. My question is, how the hell does prostate cancer affect a person doing their job? Because it doesn't. I know people, and prayers up to all who have any kind of cancer, but most forms of cancer are not going to take you out of your job. Unless you have a really, really serious form of cancer, usually you are still able to work. And you still have a cogent, cognate mind. Now, if we want to get into all that about Joe Biden's mind and that's a whole different subject. But prostate, so that, oh my God, there's a conspiracy that he was hiding in him. Blah, blah. Who the hell cares? What was he hiding? What is it going to affect? It doesn't stop his ability to do his job. Now, again, if you want to lean into how his mental faculties were, that's a whole different conversation. I think we can all agree that at that point, when he first elected, fine. But you could see him decrease over time, over the years. We can all agree that his faculties started to decrease. He's also 82 damn years old. Started to decrease around when he was 80, which is why I say politicians should not be allowed to be politicians over the age of 75. Because Trump's, so don't act like it. He's what, 79? No one escapes Father Time. No one. Everyone loses their faculties at some point. If you get old enough, if you're lucky enough. You may not be lucky enough to get old enough to get there. God bless my grandmother. I love her so much. 86 years old. Unfortunately, dealing with the loss of some of her faculties. And it's very hard. But it happens at that age. And not expected to happen to Trump. It's going to happen to Trump too. So why don't we be more empathetic of our fellow human beings instead of pile on at their work? I'll leave that there. In other units, moving on, President Trump, there's been a lot of stuff going on in the past couple weeks that we missed. First of all, let's get into the okay. I think I've said this plenty of times on this program by now. We all know President Donald Trump came from a reality TV background, from a business background, from a salesman background, from a I peacock, I sell myself background, as a I am going to be a, and in his eyes, a good way, a bluster. I am going to boast. I am going to rant and rave about how good I am and everything good that I do. Fine. We've known that for a long time about this, about our president. He has come way more prepared this second term, y'all. He has come way more prepared than he was his first term. And whether you think that's good or bad, it could be in whatever context you're looking at it. What I mean in terms of that is he is going to milk out everything that he can every day out of this presidency to make himself look as good as possible. Why do I say that? As a quick intro to this, we've been talking about tariffs a lot on this program. Just today, President Donald Trump announced that he's delaying the UK tariffs, the EU tariffs, till July 9th. Why do we keep seeing these tariffs being moved back? We'll get back to that in a second. I'm doing the weave, as they call it, with the Donald Trump supporters like to call it the weave. I like that. They call it the weave. I do the weave too, I guess. Even though we know that's not what he's doing. He's just going out up on different rants, but that's okay. Did y'all see what he did with the South African president when Cyril Ramaphosa came into the Oval Office last week after the Zelensky thing happened a couple months ago? Y'all, he's ready. He is ready for these things. He has turned these Oval Office meetings into reality TV shows. That's what they are. He's prepared. The first one was Zelensky. He had J.D. Vance prepared to jump down like a bulldog up on him. Rest in peace, Boozer. This time around, his aides had visual aids at the ready. My man had it reminded me of when Al Davis brought in the projector to fire Lane Kiffin. Y'all remember that? So when, rest in peace to Al Davis, the great Raiders owner. He hired Lane Kiffin when Lane was a young punk. Lane still is a punk. I hope you hear that, Lane Kiffin. You're a punk. Anyways, I got real right there for a second. Lane Kiffin, who completely screwed over my Raiders, was getting fired from the Raider organization. And Al Davis, old school as he was, again, in his 80s, losing his faculties at this point in time, as we just talked about that, rolls out a projector. The old school projectors we used to have in like high school. Well, at least we had them when I was in high school, which kind of dates me, I guess. But the projectors like the math teachers used to bring out, and it would like project the light onto the screen. Like, this is how you do this math problem. Anyways, God rest his soul. Al Davis rolled out a projector that, I don't know why. We had computers at this time. I don't know why he just didn't ask the staff to draft a Word document. But nonetheless, I love the projector. He projects the letter that he hand wrote to fire Lane Kiffin and all the reasons that he was firing. Anyways, this is very resemblance of that. Now, I'm laughing now. It's not a funny subject of what they talked about. I'm amused because President Donald Trump has used these Oval Office meetings to turn them into dog and pony shows. It's a circus. And it's all done to make himself look better than the person that he's in the room with, whoever it is. Fine. Whatever. He's a reality TV show star. We know this. He's a salesman. He's going to sell himself. Got it. The problem is when you have these things at the ready, but you don't know what they are. And this is the problem with Trump's readiness in this second term. It's not the fact that he's ready. God bless, he's ready. It's awesome, actually, that his team is actually prepared. The problem is the preparation isn't always in full good faith. The preparation isn't always done with the accuracy that it needs it. The majority of the time, the preparation is done with lacking in accuracy, let's just say. Okay? So, and we've seen this before. We've seen this plenty of times before. They've put something out, and then the administration had to come back later and say, oh, no, that's not what it actually was that you saw. We see something similar here. Now, is there a discrimination to white farmers in South Africa? Yes, there is. Is there a genocide of white farmers in South Africa? No, there is not. First of all, please do not use the word genocide unless it's the Holocaust was a genocide. When you lose thousands of people, that's genocide. 60 to 100 people, 150 people, not genocide. Is it horrible? Yes. Should it not happen? It should not happen. Agreed. No one should have to lose their life due to, as I mentioned earlier, some sort of dispute between religion, race, country, person, gender, otherwise. I just said that earlier. I stand by it in these comments now. No one should. But it's not genocide. It's not genocide. And the video that they showed with all of those white crosses lining the road, yes, that was in South Africa. And yes, that was done by the white farmers in protest to the discrimination that they were or they are enduring. But what is false about that video was what President Trump said within the Oval Office. President Trump said each one of those crosses represented a farmer. Well, I can guarantee you, had that many, those thousands of white farmers been killed, I guarantee you every single one of us would have heard about it on the news by now. Don't you think? Be a little more logical. Use your brain to think. Had that many farmers been killed, we would have heard about it. Everybody would have. So, first of all, that's false. That's completely false and was debunked afterwards. Those crosses do not represent the actual number. Yes, they represent the white farmers in general, but not each one of them was a dead white farmer. Come on now, think, use your brain. Just not possible. You would have heard about that. Now, again, have there been some killed? Sure. Is that wrong? Yes. Is the discrimination wrong? Yeah, discrimination's always wrong. And let's back it up a little bit now, though. Why are the white farmers, now that we've established that it's not genocide, and now that we've established that killing anyone is wrong? Got that out of the way, right? Why is the discrimination happening in the first place? We can sit here and act ignorant. We can sit here and be blind to the facts. But you know, when you come to listen to the professor, I'm only spitting facts. I'm only giving you the real. I research everything I put on here. We can't forget the apartheid. We can't forget what happened when the white people that immigrated to South Africa originally that discriminated against the black people that were against, as I have said on this program 5 times today. That doesn't mean that you should retaliate, right? Love can overcome all, but there's some times where apparently love is just not enough. Hate is too much. But within that hate, we cannot involve false narratives. When you include false narratives into a hateful situation, it only serves to fuel that fire. It only serves to inflame the hate. And if we're trying to end these wars, if we're trying to have a more peaceful world, which we're never going to have a utopia, granted, but at least a more peaceful world, we must not and cannot involve falsehoods, false narratives, exaggerations, and outright lies into hateful situations. And we must tell the whole story. When you are sworn into a court of law, you are sworn in to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. As journalists, as media members, we must adhere ourselves to that same standard. And yeah, your party is going to tell you what you want, what they want you to hear. Your base is going to tell you what they're going to tell their base what they want them to know. That's why I watch everything. When I watch Newsmax or CNN or Fox News or OAN or News Nation or whatever, because I watch them all, because I like to get all the perspectives. I know that they're telling their constituents, their audience, what they want them to hear. So when I do watch Newsmax, I know, okay, this is conservative leaning. I need to make sure I keep that in the back of mind when I'm listening to them. I need to say, okay, let me check that, because they're probably saying that only because it's a conservative thing that's going to make their base feel good, but it sounds like it's wrong. And I do the same thing for CNN and so on and so forth. Because you can't have these things out there that are false, because then you have all these people in this country thinking there's thousands of white farmers being killed when that's just not true. Again, is there discrimination? Yeah. Is the discrimination right? No. Is the discrimination in retaliation to previous discrimination? Yes. Again, I can only tell you how to love each other. I can't make you. You know what I mean? Hey, we got almost 50 on the live. Love it. Thank y'all for tuning in. Oh, I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you for the round of applause. Thank you. Oh, man. Making my heart feel so good, my friend. Thank you. We got almost 50 on the live. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe at Ball and Buds, BALLANDBUDS, handy QR code up top. As well, hit that like button for me, y'all. Please. It is free to you. But yeah, y'all, you got to make sure you have the facts. And a lot of times people don't get the facts from the stations that they watch. You're not going to get the fact. If you are a conservative and you're watching Newsmax, you're not going to get all of the facts. Will they give you facts they want you to know, facts that lean in their favor? Yes. But are they also going to tell you exaggerations and lies that will make you think they're doing things? Yes, they're going to do that too. And they do the same thing on CNN and every other station. That's why you've got to take a listening and critical thinking vibe to when you listen to the news. Cool. Let's move it on a little bit. We're going to move it on into the Republicans advancing the bill. Yes, the House bill has been advanced. The big, beautiful bill, as Donald Trump has named it. Amol, can you talk House bill? If you can talk House bill and everything after it, I think you'll be all right. I only have one other thing. Actually, you know what? Let me do this first. I want to do a couple of immigration notes, and then I'll bring you on for the lesser of kind of controversial topics, because I know we want to keep you away from those sort of things. So let me knock out a couple of these subjects here first, and we'll bring you in. I'll bring you in to talk about. I'm going to talk about the Republicans advancing the big, beautiful bill this past week. But first, let's get into some nerdy set. On May 19th, the first of illegal immigrants opting to self-deport was chartered, y'all. So you remember on the last episode, I talked about this, and I told y'all, I warned y'all, you can take them up on this offer if you want to, but it's not going to be what you thought it was. Now, the White House says this was that they got everything they said they were promised. They said that all of them received a $1,000 stipend, travel assistance, and the possibility of returning to the United States illegally. First of all, y'all can forget that. You ain't coming back, so stay where you at, because you decided to take them up on that stupid offer. Did they get a $1,000 stipend and travel assistance? I can't find anything. I did some research on it and I couldn't find anything. So I'm going to try to update y'all next week once I get more information. Because again, I do not want to give anyone any false information on this show. And so I'm not going to say that they didn't get it. It's possible that they did. I have not seen, I've been trying to find if that is a false claim or not. And I have not been able to adjudicate that yet. So I will let you know. But I personally, in my personal opinion, before said that I did not think they were going to fulfill that promise. So we'll see if they did. But it was apparently a voluntary charter flight from Houston to Honduras and Colombia, and sending 64 individuals back who, again, volunteered for their self-deportation, as it's called. In other deportation news, the Supreme Court has approved the Trump administration's emergency request Emergency request. Excuse me. Hold on one second. Let me. I completely forgot all my slides for y'all. Oh well, that's okay. We'll catch up now. There was an Around the Horn slide I created. Farewell, my dear Around the Horn. There was also a Sean Diddy Combs trial with the crazy pictures. Look at this one on the left. The prosecutor's pointing right at Diddy, and his head is like like a vampire with garlic. It's hilarious. And then him making a heart. Look at this middle one. So y'all, during the Diddy trial, he made this heart at Cassie. What? You're making a heart. You're making a heart hand signal at the girl that you abused for 10 years, and is the reason you're on the stand. How gone is he? Is he faculty? Is Diddy's faculties gone? I don't know. And then there's Kid Cudi on the right side. Yes. Oh yeah. You didn't know I have visual aids now. Like I'm in because if I'm going to be a professional news program, I got to act professional. So I got my little news slides. Anyways, to our Donald Trump, which is the one I was trying to get to. The Supreme Court approved the Trump administration's emergency request to possibly deport Venezuelans. So Department of Homeland Security has given approval to Trump. This was after the Supreme Court temporarily blocked it to possibly deport illegal Venezuelans. Could be up to 350,000 Venezuelans living in the United States. People who have escaped their country due to war, national disaster, the regime of Nicolas Maduro, who was a dictator. A lot of these people were just innocent people trying to escape harm's way, and they are being possibly deported while the juxtaposition there, what a great word for a Puerto Rican on a live TV show, the juxtaposition there is bringing in white South African farmers who are being discriminated against, but also at the same time kicking out Hispanics, Spanish people who were, yes, here illegally, but also escaping persecution. Now, the conservative side will say, well, that's the thing. They came here illegally. They are criminals because they came here illegally. Other people would say we all came here illegally, and even white people came here illegally. The only people here illegally were Native Americans, and so technically all of us came here illegally if you really want to get down to brass tacks. But that's neither here nor there. That's for another mind of the professor. But we'll see what happens. A U.S. travel advisory does remain in effect for Venezuela. One of the reasons I bring this up, though, y'all, is because you may have heard of some news that happened here in Nashville. So what happened? There were rumors of ICE raids downtown here in Nashville, a block away down on Broadway, which I'll probably be hitting up tonight if my boy wants to go out. I'm going to check the phone. Still Memorial Day weekend. Might as well go hit the club. But anyways, there was a rumor that 3 bars on Broadway specifically were affected by potential ICE raids. Honky Tonk Central. Shout out my girl Ivy, who works there. I love you, boo. There was one other one I forgot. And Kid Rock's. Now, I'm not going to say it's poetic justice per se, but poetic irony? Definitely poetic irony. The fact that, and again, the ICE raids never necessarily happened or not, we don't know for sure, but there were rumors of these raids happening downtown, and a bunch of the back of house staff, which, by the way, most of the back of house staff in any restaurant, anywhere you go, is most likely going to probably be Hispanic, and therefore possibly have some illegal immigrants. No different here. Bunch of back of house cooks, dishwashers, other things bolted out the doors, even including Kid Rock's bar. It left them with no kitchen staffs. They had to shut down these bars early, which, by the way, Nashville stays open until 3 a.m. So when you're shutting down early, you're losing a lot of money. So the fact that Kid Rock would have to lose a lot of money due to illegal immigrants that work in his place having to run away because they're afraid of being deported is at least poetic irony, possibly poetic justice. That's who you are and what side of the aisle you stand on. Kid Rock came out and said that he does not hire at the, obviously, duh, we know that, doesn't hire the people, doesn't have a say in those things, but that if there are illegal immigrants, he supports them being deported, which is fine. But again, just remember, you have to replace those people. Don't know who you're replacing all those people with, but that's a lot of people all around the country. Neither here nor there. I did check with my sources, though, to see if this actually happened. And yes, it did. Workers actually did go home in fear of being deported. Thankfully, nothing actually went down at any of these establishments, but they did have to close early and they did lose revenue due to the fact that most of the restaurants are going to, it's just, look, y'all, our economy here in the United States is heavily subsidized and heavily contributed to by illegal immigrants. They are people that work as our cooks, as our maids in hotels, as cleaning ladies in restaurants, whatever have you. And when you deport all of these people, you are deporting a huge part of your economy. You have to then replace that economy. The problem with that is that most Americans, and I include myself in this group, most Americans don't want to do the jobs illegal immigrants do. Shit, half of the construction jobs are illegal immigrants. Now, you might get enough young men that want to be construction workers. Maybe. I don't want to be a cleaner. I don't want to be a cook. I don't want to do construction. I don't do any of that shit. I am included. I'm number one at the top of that group. I'm number one at that group that does not want to do any jobs that illegal immigrants do. Because I don't. I have no desire to do any of those jobs. I'm not saying that those jobs are less than or anything. I'm just saying not something I want to do personally. And I've been a dishwasher at plenty of restaurants. So I've been in those jobs. I've literally done those jobs and I hated them. Why do I want to get sprayed with dirty water and dirty food all day? It sucks. Especially when you catch a morsel, hits you in the mouth. You're like, oh man, that was somebody's like piece of food that just shot up and hit me in the face. Gotta go take a shower. Now, it happens. It's gross, but it happens. Anyways, so I'm not going to say be careful for what you wish for, but be careful what you wish for. One more piece of news here in the Donald Trump world. We'll bring on a more here in a little bit. I didn't want to involve him in these sort of discussions. But the Department of Defense has now accepted a Boeing 747 from Qatar. This is the jet that has raised a lot of issues between the conservative liberal parties of not only ethical considerations, but security considerations. So it was finally accepted. It's a $400 million gift that he plans to use as Air Force One, since Boeing has not built the Air Force Ones that Trump paid for the first term. Which will then go to his presidential library. Okay. We need to break this down a little bit. First of all, aside from the ethical considerations in themselves, which are many, there's many ethical considerations here, considering the fact that presidents are not supposed to accept any gifts from any foreign nations. Flat out. There's nothing else to that. It's in the Constitution for a reason. I believe it was Woodrow Wilson or Herbert Hoover who was offered by France the Eiffel Tower. Obviously not accepted. There's a reason for that. Because then the president can be bribed and can be later used. And if you think President Donald Trump, salesman, businessman, reality TV star, is not into taking money and considerations for favors, you clearly have not been watching. You clearly have had your head in the sand, or you're such a Trump sycophant that you believe everything that they say. Now, again, I don't like either party. I don't care for Trump. I don't care for Biden. I don't care for Democrats. I don't care for Republicans. I care for the truth. I care for justice. I care for straight down the middle. No president, Democrat or Republican, should be able to accept any gifts from any foreign nations. Now, instantly criticized every single Middle East country, to include Qatar, for supporting terrorism in the Middle East. But yet now, it's okay to accept a $400 million 747 because they're giving us a plane. Okay, let's keep that in mind. Fine. They got the Department of Defense to accept it, so that way it wasn't him, technically. Okay, fine. Forget about the ethical considerations. Ethically, it should not be done. It's in the Constitution for a reason. It should have been a flat-out no from the beginning, no questions asked. I want to move on to the more important part of this conversation, which is not being talked about. And that's the fact that this plane, which, by the way, is going to apparently take billions of dollars to renovate, up to $1 billion to renovate, $500 million to renovate. Do you know how many security? Wait, is it still showing up? Choppy, Amul, are we good now? Is it still showing up choppy? I saw your comments on Instagram now. If I'm still coming in choppy, let me know. Anyways, so ethically aside, security concerns. Y'all know me. You know from this program, I was in the military. I am very, very high on security of information, InfoSec, operational security, all of these things, right? Do you understand that getting a huge plane comes with a lot of places that you can hide possible security infractions, for lack of a better word? Do you realize they will have to break that plane down to nothing pretty much just to make sure it's not bugged? Just to make sure they're not collecting intelligence off of us. What was the point then? If we already have Boeing building planes, why didn't we let them do it? Because they wouldn't be ready in time, and this one is? You're still going to have to break it down and make sure it's not bugged. It's still coming from a foreign country, which last we checked and last Donald Trump said was a terrorist supporting country. Where's the disconnect? As a security concern alone, this should not be allowed. This is crazy. This is a Trojan horse. Are you kidding me? This is a Trojan horse on fire. There are so many potential security violations involved in this transaction. And again, forget ethics. Forget morals. Talk about the security of America. After I've talked about weeks on weeks on weeks on weeks on weeks, how these nuclear powers are Iran, all these other places are beefing up, China, North Korea. You think that these countries ain't trying to get intel off of us? And even at the least, let's say that Qatar themselves broke it down into itty-bitty parts that we could tell had nothing and still sent it over to us. They're still trying to get something for it. You think they're just giving that away for free? There's an old adage, ain't nothing in life free. You can come to Diddy's party, but you might end up in the bedroom with some baby oil. Ain't nothing in life free. Oh, you may go down to Mar-a-Lago to kiss the ring. Donald Trump gets you off of your bribery charges in New York. Ain't nothing in life free. I could keep making examples all day because that was kind of fun, actually. But I'm going to stop there because we've been going for almost 2 hours. And I'm getting tired and I want to go to the club. So for the last 30 minutes of the show, I am going to bring on my brother Amul Madan, and we're going to talk a little bit of just a little bit more U.S. news here. He has some answers on the bill for us that has been advanced and is going into the Senate. Let me get a little comment here. Oh, it wasn't the Eiffel. Thank you for correcting me, Amul. I like to be corrected because I always, again, want to be factual on the program. I don't want to say anything false. So it wasn't the Eiffel Tower. It was Initiative 9 World's Fair. So there you go. But it was offered to the United States. Who was the president at that time? Can you confirm that for the correction? I appreciate that. We obviously want to be as factual as possible on this stream. I'm going to go ahead and send you the link now, my brother. So I'll go ahead and send that to you on I can't send it to you on IG. Send it to you on Facebook real quick. In the House, it passed two. Where did I put that at? Thank you. 215 to 214. Why I lost that out of my view. Two Republican senators actually voted against the bill. One Republican senator claimed present, and another one did not. As he said that he missed the vote. Sir, if I was Donald Trump, I would light into your ass. What do you mean you missed the vote? You knew the vote was today. You should have been on standby. You should have been waiting for the vote. What you mean you missed the vote? What was you doing? You were sleeping? You were taking a dump in the bathroom? How you missed the vote? Sir, that should have been the only thing on your agenda that day. If I was Donald Trump, I would walk into your office and fire you right now. And I don't even agree with that. But I would, because you got to be kidding me. You mean we almost lost this bill because you didn't want to show up on time? I love being late. I know that's probably a really bad flaw, personal habit to have. I don't believe in time. I think time is classical, not like Earth things. So don't that. Yes, we use time as a constitutionality to be able to schedule things. Sure, fine, whatever. But that doesn't mean I got. So I'm using. You're gonna have to do, and that is included right now. Like, what are you talking about? What else do you have to do that was important that day, sir? All right, anyways, I'm getting off of that. I thought that was pretty funny. There we go. Thank you. So I was completely off base with Herbert Hoover and Woodrow Wilson. I guess I just pulled that out of my ass, apparently. For the factual action there, it was Grover Cleveland. So I'm actually going to send you that now on Facebook. I got to copy it from. I sent it to my producer earlier when they were helping me to. I know you are. I just told you I'm going to send it to you on Facebook, guy. Calm down. Hold on one second. I'm trying to get there. So anyways, so the bill that got advanced, we're going to talk about this. There's a couple things that went into this. Obviously, this is going to increase the deficit. They're saying it's going to increase the deficit by up to $2 trillion. So even Kentucky Governor Rand Paul has come out saying that while he will vote on the bill to believe new cuts, because he correctly said this, by the way, that the Democrats in office and Joe Republicans were in some way when and this is both parties do this. They do it all the time. They're always going to get on the one party when they do it, but then when they do the same thing, it's okay. It's the name of the game in politics, to do something and be okay with it and then get mad when the other side does it. Whatever. Anyways, so the problem is when it comes to the things that it's going to try to cut, bring the influx into our deficit down. Because in 2017, in Donald Trump's first term as president, he enacted these tax cuts, which, let's be completely honest here, brass tacks here, while everyone got a tax cut, the richer got more of a tax cut. The more wealthy people got more of a tax cut. And yes, I know you're probably going to say, especially my mathematics people, inherently, the proportions are so much more heavily weighed to the wealthy than the poor. That's when you have this imbalance that continues to happen, and that imbalance will cause us then continue to have a further looking for a further, for lack of a better way, poor that are homeless, that have mental health issues. And we already have too much of that now in this country, cannot fix. It doesn't make sense to make more poor people more poor and then become homeless or have mental health issues, and then we exacerbate the. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for earlier. Exacerbate the issue. Make the issue that I believe in. I am a huge proponent for trying to help the homeless and people with mental health, because I believe that is one of our, if not our biggest issue in this country. Our problem is that no one in this country actually cares for people in this country. They don't care. Again, get worse as a country. Well, that's not going to be helped when you are eliminating things like Medicaid and SNAP benefits. Now, yes, are there people that take advantage of these? So not as much as they're saying it is. And again, with the same thing that happened with the Doge cuts, with the same thing that happened with firing in the federal government and veterans losing their jobs, and same thing that happened with deportation of the immigrants. When you do things in a broad swath, you are going to inherently affect a lot of innocent people. And this is no different. There are going to be a lot of innocent people that maybe are not able to work that are now going to be forced into work because maybe they don't have the proper documentation. And you may say, why don't they? Maybe they can't afford a doctor to get the proper documentation. Why can't they work? Maybe they can't afford a car to go to work. Take the bus. Maybe they can't afford a license to work. You have to make money in order to have money. So I get both sides coming from this on different angles, asking different questions. But the fact is that when you take benefits away from poor people and you're giving tax cuts to everyone, but including rich people, it is the reverse Robin Hood. You are enriching the wealthy to take away from the poor, to destitute the poor. And that's not right. It's just not right. It's foul. It's malicious. It's wrong. It is flat out wrong. We should be helping the poor in our country. We should be helping the ill in our country, just like Jesus taught. Help the poor, help the ill, help all the rest, the less fortunate. And we don't do that because the powerful people in this country don't care about those people. It just is what it is. Yeah, I wish it would be fixed. All right, let's bring in my brother Amul. Thank you, my friend, for coming in. Hey, look. This man, we're friends 5 years old, I believe. Going on almost 4. It is said that he has outscholarred the most scholarly, the most prestigious Ivy League universities. It is said that he has ran circles around every other agile manager in the Washington, D.C. area. He is an intellect. He is cultured. He's my personal friend.
How you doing, brother? I came on for a couple of reasons. First, you were passion that you were eulogizing I'm doing all right.
How you doing?
The passion that you were eulogizing around the horn, and I want to come out a couple of weeks back too when you ran out of voice, because I felt like you needed it. Second, I'm here. Trump sent me is what happened. I had a photo shoot tonight, and it was a Milky Way shoot, and you can't control the clouds, you can't control a clear night, so other people can. So how's it going?
Yeah, everybody make sure that you please go support my brother. He is can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear
you.
Me? Yes.
You can't hear me?
I can. I'm nodding yes, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, everybody support my brother. Is his own photography business. Go ahead and tap in with him at Instagram. Is AM23 for
AM23 photography, yes, sir. This is vodka.
So there you go. All right, cool. Make sure y'all tap in with him on Instagram. He takes awesome pictures, y'all. Awesome pictures. I just did a photo shoot with a young lady, and you said that you were taking her shot. I was like, I want to shoot my shot is what I want to do.
I will not connect you.
Anyway,
I have to get permission first. Is what I have to do.
I mean, she's very beautiful. That's all I'm going to say. Get into this for me. Talk to us about this bill. What's happening? They're raising debt by almost $2 trillion.
This bill is not a good bill, but because we have Republicans who are running all houses of or all chambers right now, it passed. There is, I heard this evening, there is a hidden provision that they're going to start monitoring federal judges, like based off of what they, how they vote. So it's in the Senate. We'll see what happens. I don't know whether it's going to be via party line vote or not, but it's something to watch out for. And they're doing it under the guise of, hey, if this doesn't pass, then hey, tax cuts will go up at the end of the year. And I've had a bit of an about face since the last time I was on. I'm sort of on the side of you in regards to, being a little bit in the middle, an independent voice, as it were, because it's harder now to move forward. It's harder now. Like, we're going to get taxed. The tax brackets are going to to shift. They shift every year. And to your point about something you mentioned earlier, like why was, I think you were talking about, this was before the plane. You mentioned, why are things happening? Why are deals occurring? How invested are you in the stock market, my friend? Genuine question. How invested are you in the market?
No. Honestly, I do not invest at all. I used to have a 401k, but due to my poor life decisions, I had to eat into that, and so I am not involved in the stock market at all. So please help us out.
Okay. Well, all I was going to say was back when they announced the tariffs initially, right? You saw the stock market go on a downward trend for a little bit. Myself, some others, we all got back in because it seemed like a good idea at the time. And when you have, I think it's like within a month, you have 30 days within a month in a calendar month. Of those days, I think it's something like, you take out the weekends. If only 3 of those days the market's in positive territory and the rest of the time it's in negative territory, who's benefiting off of that? It's not you or me. So it's all it's all to and where I stand politically, but like it's just one of those things where
hold on, hey, let me ask you a question real quick, because the stock market. So is that because the more wealthy people obviously have the better information, so they know the dips and the peaks,
yes,
and they know they may even have insider trading information to where they make better trades than the normal public?
They do. That's all correct. They have that inside information and can make those trades. They can short things. They can ensure that they're going to get out of sell a stock before it tanks. We've seen that before. Anyone who watches 15 minutes of CNBC daily, it doesn't matter when you tune in. I swear to God, you will have you just watch 15 minutes and you'll be like, okay, I'm caught up to speed on what's going on. The bluff there, bottom line up front, you're familiar with that acronym, others aren't, but is, NVIDIA AI, Apple's getting hit with tariffs, so their stock is down. The tech sector is getting hit, so because of tariffs. So it's going to affect things moving forward. You're going to have to pay more for an iPhone. You're going to have to pay more for an Android. It's just how our lives are going to be for the next couple of years. On the other side of things, though, I will say this. Go ahead.
Real quick. Hold that thought real quick on the iPhone. Okay. No. I want you to talk about gas. But hold on. iPhone. Let's talk about this specifically for a second. Yeah. Donald Trump said that he wants iPhones to come back to America to be made. But any person that knows the logistics and how iPhones are made, 80% of iPhones are made in China. A lot of others are made in other places in Asia.
India.
How feasible and likely is it, which I already know the answer, but to bring America manufacturing back for something like an iPhone?
Maybe like 15%. I'll give it 15%, but that's stuff that's the phones that are being manufactured in China are being moved to India. So, now it's a Modi versus Trump situation. And I don't think they possibly may have talked about it the last time they met. I don't know for sure, but you can make phones, the same way in India. It might be cheaper, but if India is getting hit with a 20% tariff, how cheap is it really? So that's something to consider. That's something for Apple to consider. And
right.
Consequently,
so now talk about gas and oil prices.
Sure. It was down, from what I heard this morning, it was down for the first time in 5 years. So, for the first time in 5 years within this Memorial Day weekend. Yeah. But again, it's sort of like a situation where you live in Nashville. So you're driving around, you only know what you know, in your neighborhood, right? in my neighborhood in Arlington, up here close to DC, it's, hovering between $2.94 and $3. It's been about that. I think the highest it's peaked is $3.15. So that's not a microcosm of the entire U.S., but I'm sure it's higher in other places. It's definitely. I don't want anyone to quote me Hawaii, because I know for a fact it's higher in Hawaii because it's off the mainland. So I think gas there.
Well, I can personally tell you that I was in
Puerto Rico.
I can personally tell you when I was in Puerto Rico last week, and we have a little bit of it, which is why I'm stepping on you. I apologize. But
okay.
We were in Puerto Rico last week, and it was going for $3.75 a gallon. So.
Okay. I heard in Hawaii it might be like $5, but then again, that's because it's off island. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Oh yeah.
Or off the mainland, rather.
Well, I lived in Hawaii, Hawaii, as you should say. Shout out to all my ohana in Hawaii. Loved all my family out there. Hawaii.
Hawaii.
But yeah, so okay, let's talk about this then, because the nonpartisan, by the way, Congressional Budget Office estimates that 8.5 million people fewer will have health care coverage with these Medicaid cuts, as well as 3 million less people would have SNAP food stamp benefits as proposed changes. That's a lot of poor people losing benefits.
Mm-hmm. It is. And that's a problem that we're going to have to face. I've been doing since the last time I was on, I've been doing a lot of thinking not only in terms of that, you go to a city, or I was in Boston. By the way, I'm wearing this hat for you because of what my team did to your beloved Mets. You're welcome. That's right. I know. I'm gonna get that later. I'm gonna get it back later. I know you're going to. Yeah. It's okay. But that's a problem.
Alex. Bregman is on the IR. Alex Bregman pulled up a little hammy the other day.
Yeah, and then we have Marcelo Mayer coming on, which okay, that's great. I'm glad let the youth movement roll in Boston, in my opinion. Bring up Roman Anthony, Alex Cora. But to
actually, you know what? Hold on. No. I have a question for you. We're gonna interject a quick. We're gonna interject a quick sports. We're gonna interject a quick sports question. So yesterday. I was doing the athletics send an email where you could pick your all century team so far for the first 25 years of 2000. Okay, right. So I chose my team, and I got to the last spot, the DH, and so I'm going through the choices, and I'm like, I see Shohei Ohtani, I'm like, damn, I could just go with Shohei, and then so I keep going down, and I see David Ortiz, who's my other choice. I'm like, damn, Big Papi was amazing for so long. Now. You know me. I know baseball. I know sports in general, but I know baseball very well. I'm a baseball old timer purist.
No, you're a
savant. I picked Shohei Ohtani. Stop using all those other words. What do you say to somebody that they picked Shohei Ohtani in only his 5 years that he's been in versus a 20-year career of Big Papi?
I think there is a gulf of.
He brings the pitching, so you get the pitching too. You get the pitching too.
But there's a gulf of knowledge that's being missed because the kids that are coming up today, and you and I can talk about this more later, but the kids that are coming up today don't have that knowledge of prime Big Papi. So, of course they're going to pick, or the journalists of today are going to pick Shohei Ohtani. I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that. I'm of the mindset if I would ask, okay, if we're doing if I'm doing the same thing for the Athletic, is this prime Big Papi or towards the end of his career? Because if it's towards the end of his career, I pick Shohei. If it's prime Big Papi, then I'm going to pick prime Big Papi. I'm going to pick him. So that's what I would want to know. So
I'm just thinking to myself because I'm thinking to myself maybe are Shohei's accomplishments in his short 5-year career, do they already equal up to all of Big Papi's?
They could. I mean, I wouldn't put it past
it
them.
is something that it needs to be. It has to be taken into consideration.
I wouldn't put it past him, honestly. Like, he is such a transformational,
You know what I mean?
generational talent. Yeah, he's such a generational talent that you have to put him in the conversation. You absolutely have to. We were talking about homeless people, I think, before we jumped into sports. Right. Cool. You want me to jump back to that, or how would you like to steer
back to Medicaid and SNAP, people losing benefits. Talk about poor. So, I'm going to go hit. I got it. Yeah, no, please continue on. I need you to talk for a couple minutes because I need to go use the bathroom real quick. I need to pee. I'll be right back.
Okay.
You go. Talk about the Medicaid
and while he's gone, we're also okay. Let me talk about the homeless folks. Then I'll dive into my other stuff. But yeah, there is an increase in the homeless population. There's an increase in those that are going to need medical insurance. And that's a problem because you don't necessarily know how long Obamacare is going to be around. You don't know how long Medicare and Medicaid is going to be around. It's already being cut. There have been discussions where you could easily tax those that are making $500 million a year more than they actually are. How viable is that? For people like you and me, that's quite feasible. But by the same token, is a Republican president going to do it? I don't think 47 is going to, because he just wants to. I think he's okay. If I can speak frankly for a hot second, I think to an extent, he's he's bent upon reducing the size of government to bend to his will and to his whims. You can see it with the plane that he bought. He wants to buy the plane that he's going to store at his presidential library, which normally that doesn't happen. You're not supposed to do that. But I would bet you that there's probably a side deal that hasn't been reported on yet that will come out later that goes along with that plane deal. So we don't know what that is yet, but that was my first instinct in thinking that.
And that's what I'm saying. There's no way you can think that as Donald Trump, they're trying to offer you this plane and they don't want anything in return.
Yes, there is something, and it is. I was talking about this yesterday at a print swap that I was at with friends. We were talking about the rise in homelessness and the rise in individuals who need SNAP benefits. They need Medicare and Medicaid insurance, and it's getting to a point where those that if you have elderly parents who rely on Medicare and Medicaid, talk with them. Do more than just talk with them. Offer to help them out if or you see in the news that something's happening. Try to be proactive about it because, like Omar said earlier, we're sort of in this for ourselves. And if you read any of the books that we were assigned in high school, I happen to have one of them here just because I'm rereading it, Fahrenheit 451. It basically talks about
good book.
Yes, about how I'm rereading it now as if to read it for the first time, and it's phenomenal in the scope that it's only 158 pages, so it's not that big of a read, but to be able to have this character Montauk go through all these feelings of saying, okay, well, first we're firemen, we're supposed to burn all the knowledge, and now we need to gain knowledge. That's something that we need to be on that other end of the spectrum, where in this day and time we need to think of just keeping our knowledge afloat, and in the face of AI, in the face of fake news, as it were. Also, and Omar didn't put this in enough. He didn't talk about this a whole lot, but now that he's back, I kind of have
Now,
to tag
all right.
and play this straight. But he does love TGIF way too much. I had to. You're welcome.
TGIF was awesome. Never will fail. Family Matters, Step by Step, the dinosaurs. Knock the Mama.
Yes.
Knock the Mama.
Yes.
And
Why's
many
my hair
others.
on?
Anyways,
I'm
so
putting-
there are a couple good things that came from this. No, you're like my James Carville, so it doesn't even matter. You're like,
I know.
because like your camera is looking at the ceiling. I can barely even see your face. I don't know what's happening.
You can't see my face. I can see my face.
There are some good things.
I can see the map behind me too. You
There
can't
you
see
go.
the map
There's
behind me.
that beautiful mug. Now I can. It was a little. Now I can. All right. So there are a couple of good things that did come out of this, at least in my eyes. Those two things would be the standard deductions on taxes, and the child tax credit. So they increased the child tax credit to $4,000, and he's actually installed Trump children accounts that will give every child $1,000. Is this true? How true is this? And does every child get this?
I'm gonna wait.
I can't believe every child would get that.
I'm gonna say
would
this.
you even have enough money to do that?
I'm gonna say this to you. Wait and see, because this is a lot like.
I don't believe that Trump thing. I don't believe. I'm sorry. That would cost way too much money.
Remember when a bunch of us got doged? You heard about this in the news, and some people were saying how they have to take the early retirement, and they were promised money and they still haven't received it. So I'm thinking it's a lot like that.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. You can't believe this.
Yes.
You can't, like the people that self-deport. Do you really think you're going to have a chance to come back? No, you're not. No, you're not. Like, no.
Not in this administration.
They're not going to give you $1,000. What are they giving you $1,000? Oh,
no.
God.
But
I'm with you on that.
But to Omar's point, we have to step up our knowledge about all these things and make our own decisions, because it's getting to be a tougher time frame. A tougher way to live life nowadays. And when it's like this, you've got family. Everyone's got family. Everyone's got a brother or a sister. Everyone's got a significant other. Everyone's got a mom, or if they're lucky enough, have a dad that's still alive. But, you have to watch out for them. And if you don't, then it's going to be a problem moving forward. Because who takes care of them? Family's family. I don't mean to sound all Godfather-ish.
Yeah, and that's
exactly.
That's the other thing. No, but that's the other thing, and that leans into that we have a problem in this country with the homeless and the mental health. The other thing we have a problem with is old people, and I don't mean that in a derogatory manner, as in old people are bad on society. I mean that we are bad to old people, just like we're bad to veterans with the government. But old people in general, like in America, and I get it. America's culture is not like other countries. When you go to, and I talked to somebody, I had a debate with a black friend and a white friend about this the other day. And I said, in my opinion, when I'm looking at all of these cultures, the Hispanic culture is all about family. Like there's no way that I would hate any of my family. But so often do I hear from my Caucasian brothers and sisters that they don't even talk to their family or they hate their family. I'm like, I couldn't even think about doing something like that. So it seems to me that countries outside of America are more family oriented than we are here in America.
We are. That's probably the case. But I'll submit this point to you. Like I'm Indian. My family's Indian, so we're closer. Because of that Indian heritage. Just like your family's close, to you. And for those that aren't close to their parents, I'm not going to make an appeal. I mean, we all have our reasons, but you have to be able to talk to them at some point. And if you say, no, I don't, okay, well then that's an awfully lonely existence. Just my opinion. That's an awfully lonely existence.
I mean, look, I have plenty of friends, but there's one person I talk to every day. One person I talk to pretty much every day of my life, my mom. I will always call my mom pretty much every day just to say hello, check on her, see how she's doing. I also talk to my dad almost every day, but we talk more by text. We talk because we talk a lot by text. We talk about sports and stuff. So we're always texting back and forth. So I don't feel the need to call him as much. I call him like, twice a week. But my mom, no matter if I'm texting her or if she's messaging me, I'm going to call her every day to check on her and make sure that she's doing all right.
I will. I have said it before. I haven't said it on the show yet, but it was Denzel Washington who said this. This was after his mom died. He said, a firstborn son is a mother's last love.
Wow.
And the son,
right, because she won't get married to the husband again. Wow.
No. And the son, the son is like his mom. Not to be, he wasn't getting all Oedipus Rex on you, but like his son, the son, you are your mom is your first love. So
you're right. He's come out the womb.
He's absolutely right.
He's
absolutely right. Yeah.
Denzel
I saw Marlon dropping out.
Denzel dropping wisdom. I saw Marlon Wayans in comedy special last year here at Zany's in Nashville. By the way, shout out Zany's. What an amazing comedy club. But he was here and he was talking about how he lost his mother like last year or whatever. And he was like, before he would call her because he was the same way. I call her every day, even if it wasn't like we need to talk about anything.
I call my mom too.
And his piece of advice was like, look, even if you don't want to like call or talk to your mom or whatever, like just call, let her talk, like whatever, because one day she ain't gonna be there no more, and you ain't gonna be able to call her. And I know friends who deal with that. Obviously, a lot of people, and I can't imagine that, and I pray that never happens. But obviously, at some point, everyone dies, so it's like, I don't know, man. That just seems kind of weird. But anyways, the whole point of me bringing that up was the fact that we just don't care enough about people here in America.
No, we don't. And we can talk about like what I'm about to bring up in just
like old people in nursing homes. Old people in nursing homes versus old people that our families would let stay with us. Like we
don't take care of those that are, and I don't know if they do the same thing in Europe, if they treat them better in Europe or not. But here they don't treat, everything is far more expensive all of a sudden. Like, okay, you wanted to make Canada the 51st state when they had socialized medicine. And yes, you had to wait 6 months to get a doctor be seen, but it would be free of charge. Like, okay, boomer. Like that's that doesn't compute. You know what I'm saying? We need to make a better effort of it. And I'm gonna say this real quick. I'm gonna rib on my Dems. Y'all need to figure out where you want to go fast, because if you don't figure out where you're gonna want to go, we're stuck in the mud for what, another 40 years, another 8 years, and this might be an issue coming up in the next election. It might be. It should be. Why not? Don't be passive aggressive.
I read this from a liberal leaning publication that just said basically the same thing that the Republicans, since they wiped the floor with the Democrats in the last election.
Yeah, they did.
And with everything that happened with Joe Biden and the switch over and all of that, it's a very bleak road for the Democrats, who honestly, I mean, when you're looking at Stephen A. Smith, and I love Stephen A. Smith, but when you're looking at Stephen A. Smith as being a presidential candidate, the Democrats are in desperate need.
We're looking at Angela Bassett too
to save them. I don't know the AOC as much as I love her because she's Puerto Rican. I don't know that she's mainstream enough to get enough votes to win a presidency. Bernie's too old at this point.
Bernie's a party elder.
I mean, like, what are we talking about?
I don't know who we're gonna pick. Pete Buttigieg, maybe. I don't know. I don't have any insight into you about that. I'll tell you why I don't have any insight. Unfortunately, I wish I did, but I removed myself from that equation because they wanted to fight amongst themselves. And if you're gonna come to me the same way that that Tom Cruise is going to step to Angela Bassett and say, I need you to trust me one last time again? No, fam, we had that. We did that in 2012. We don't need to do that over and over again. You see what I'm saying? So it's just they need to figure it out, and they need to figure it out fast. Play it, decide it over a game of chess. Drink bourbon like they used to in the old days. Do something. Did you get are you there? He might be frozen, ladies and gentlemen, if he's frozen. Yeah, okay. I was gonna say, if you're frozen, you missed that Tom Cruise joke, because that was a pretty. Did you get the Tom Cruise joke or no?
I heard it. No, I've
okay.
I heard it. You just couldn't. I did. You just couldn't see me. I did chuckle.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. Because
okay,
yeah.
But all right, let's talk about a couple more things.
Sure, whatever you want. Can I ask you?
No taxes on tips. No taxes on tips.
Okay.
Right.
That's okay. I'm okay with not having any taxes on tips, but that's going to explode the deficit, I would imagine. So if it would now,
but now listen, hear me out.
Yeah.
I'm a former server bartender, and we only make so much money, and we get paid minimum wage because we're supposed to be compensated by tips. The fact that you're giving us at least a little break on taxes helps out a lot for all those servers, my fellow servers and bartenders.
No, I'm for it. I'm not saying I'm not for it, but what I'm saying is if it explodes if it explodes the deficit and doesn't balance any budget, like, what are you going to do next? Are you going to cut more Medicare and SNAP benefits? If you're already cutting those to a net 0 or a net 5%.
I mean, don't stand on ceremony now, Mr. Wayne. Cut the damn taxes for the wealthy. I don't care about that.
That's what I want. I want him to cut taxes. I want him to increase taxes for the wealthy, because why not?
I'm not trying to be. I know people call Bernie a socialist for a lot of his ideas. It's not about socialism. It's about the fact that if we are going to live in a country together as human beings that need to cohabitate and live peacefully, we should try to help every fabric and faction of society. And if that means that we have to have universal health care and universal free schools, then we freaking should.
We should. And that's the problem, is that we're facing a reckoning in this country. Regardless of where we are and what job we choose to get into and where we go from here, we are facing a reckoning amongst ourselves. And, I'm not going to say it's every person for themselves, but it is to an extent. And you have to sort of navigate things in a polite manner to I'm sort of glossing over a bunch of stuff right now, but you have to navigate things in a decent way. Otherwise, you have to navigate the minefields. Otherwise, you're going to step on something and you're going to, it's not going to work out. Or you're going to end up like Diddy, which, oh my God, I have one question for you on that. And if I could get that question in, that would be fabulous.
Yes.
Okay. You and I, we grew up. It's well documented. We've known each other for a long time. He knew what he was doing. Why?
Very long time.
Why?
Of course he did.
Why? That isn't the question. This is the question.
Because
why?
He has enough money that he thinks he can get away with this.
That wasn't my question. My question was this: why on earth do you need that many bottles? Where on earth do you need that many bottles of baby lotion? Those who know me well know that I may have played a small role in our senior year prank that included baby lotion, and we only used 3, maybe 4 bottles tops. Where on earth, why on earth do you feel as if you need to have a lifetime's worth of baby oil at like however many parties you had? What is wrong with you? That is my question. Why?
And my answer to you, sir, is a lot
If you don't have
of
the answer, that's fine.
debauchery. Is a lot of debauchery was happening at said.
You can't have any debauchery with that much baby oil. You're slipping on the floor and you're breaking your back with that much baby oil. What is wrong with you?
I mean, you're gonna be slipping around a lot. You may not be able to have so much debauchery. I don't know.
That's my point.
But the testimonies are crazy. The testimonies
will
are
say
crazy.
this.
The things that are being said that were being done.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we have to look at, and especially you as a person who comes from a judicial background, we actually have to look at the merits of this case. And I'm glad you brought this up because I saw this on with the law guy that they have on CNN, the African American guy, I forget his name. No, but they're saying that. But they're saying that he can't. Like, which parts of this can they actually prove? Can they prove racketeering at all? Probably not. The only part they may be able to prove is what, the prostitution that he paid for? Like that, like how much can they get him for? You're the judicial scholar. How much can they get him for? And how much will he actually be in trouble if he only gets that lesser charge?
Well, this is the court. The case is originating out of New York, right? Is the case originating out of New York or LA? Okay, so you might need to come back to me with in regards to how much you'll get, because I'll need to Google it. But I think if they can make the case on prostitution, sure. But I agree with that. I think they can make the case with racketeering if, and this is a big if, capital letters, bold letters, if they follow the money and if they are able to subpoena the accounts and get all of that, because they can tie it back to stuff he did. I think he's toast either way. I don't think he's putting out another album ever again. I think it was wise.
Definitely not doing music. But
yeah.
Does he go to jail for life? Does he go to jail for life? That's what I think
it's possible. I think it's possible. I want to see what else, because apparently he was recording Prince. God rest his soul. But I want to see what other tapes he was recording that Prince had on him, because apparently I'm hearing there was Prince. You gotta understand, bro. I am captivated by this case, because I'm like, what is?
No, this is so intriguing. So intriguing.
Going through your mind, like this is better than almost every Jerry Springer show we watched as a kid.
It's Jerry Springer on steroids. That's what this is. This is Jerry Springer on steroids.
And this is the best part. And I'm like sitting here. I've been wanting to talk to somebody about this, and I'm glad that I could talk to you, because my other friends. Shout out to Reggie and Ray. Reg doesn't really want to talk about it all that much. Ray doesn't mind, but both are fellow servicemen. So shout out to them. And so I would say that he could possibly go away for life. I would love. This is me wishful thinking. I kind of want to see him be in the same cell as R. Kelly, just for shits and giggles. Because
R. Kelly was let out.
R. Kelly was okay. Never mind.
R. Kelly was pardoned by your boy. President Donald Trump has pardoned R. Kelly.
Well, he wasn't. That 47's not my boy, but
No, I know. Obviously, being sarcastic.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, no. R. Kelly was released last week in a pardon. So
Really? Okay.
I don't know that I would have done that either, but hey, whatever.
Yeah, I would not have done that. No, I wouldn't have done. I wouldn't have done that. Perhaps a remix ignition.
I have a.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I have an ethical question. In terms of music.
Okay.
Can you?
Let's do this.
And I will tell. Let me give you a little. Let me give you a little background into why I'm asking this question. So Saturday night, we're at the club. We're in the VIP. We're getting our drinks poured up by this beautiful bar back named Rebecca.
Keep going. I'm gonna get a bottle of water.
Kanye comes on.
A bottle of water.
And it's always okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's old Kanye. It's like Gold Digger era Kanye. So before Kanye became a Nazi. So they're playing the song, and I hear it come on, and I'm like, shit. And I look around, and everybody's it was Go Hard. Balls Go Hard.
Okay.
And with Jay-Z. Anyway, so they're doing that, and everybody's dancing, blah, blah. And so I look at Rebecca, and I'm like, yo, is it okay for me to dance to this right now with everything that's been happening? I feel like maybe I should not be supporting someone who is obviously a black Nazi, as he calls himself now.
Right.
And this comes on the heels of the video that was released where he paid about 25 black guys to circle around the star, walk on the Walk of Fame, Diddy's star, and chant "Hail Hitler."
Okay.
Seems
like a waste of money to me. I would have invested in the market instead, but that's okay.
Kanye is off his rocker. Yeah. Well, Kanye's off his rocker, and I feel bad because I actually started dancing because they did 2 Kanye songs in a row, and I had no choice because I was a little tipsy. How do we feel about dancing to R. Kelly, possibly a little bit of Kanye? We had this dilemma. You and I both had backstory. Amul and I were together on the day that Michael Jackson.
That's right. That's right.
Peace.
That's right.
Nationals game together when we found out the news that the King of Pop had died. Do you not remember?
Yeah. I remember this.
We were together.
I remember this.
We were in a Nats game together, me and you. Yep.
Yeah, we were in a Nats game together.
So where's the
line?
So where's the ethical standards? Because I love his music, but there's also the other side of everything.
Okay, we both went to college, right? We were dancing to Kanye. We were dancing to other stuff, to Puff, All About the Benjamins, Mace.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Kanye in concert in 2007. Kanye and Rihanna at Nissan Pavilion, which I guess is now Jiffy Lube Live.
Okay.
Wait. It was
at Jiffy Lube. Yeah. I was there. I was at that concert.
You were at that show.
Wow, I shouldn't have said that name on live TV. Yeah, I took my ex-girlfriend to that show. I shouldn't have said that on live TV.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have said her name on live TV at least. Crazy. Anyways.
If you think you heard your name on live TV and coming out of Omar's mouth, you didn't. Keep it moving.
All right, y'all. I don't know what happened there. Go ahead. I didn't.
Look, I'm trying to help you, bro. I'm trying to help you. And so I would think there's
good. Hopefully the statutes of limitations has passed for her crazy ass.
Maybe. We'll see. Knock knock. No. But to your point, I think you can listen to it to an extent. I don't know so much about dancing to it because I don't go to clubs as often anymore. I think you go to clubs more for both of us than I do. But I think that if I hear a Kanye song come on, I'll listen to it to an extent, but I'm not going to I'm not going to dance to it. The whole Puff Daddy thing, if All About the Benjamins comes on, I do it. I listen to it more because of B.I.G., because of Biggie. But, I think there comes a point where also the music that you listen to changes. Like as you get older, I mean, you wished me happy birthday the other day. I'm turning 43. Yeah. And like, you don't listen to hardcore rap or 90s rap as much as you used to. I'm not saying that, you're listening to like yacht rock now. I listen to my dad's old records, which are, Indian songs, but also just the kind of music I enjoy. And, if that's funk, that's blues, whatever. But you sort of get away from that. So I think it's okay to sing to. I think it's okay to listen to. I think it's okay to dance to. But after I think 2 or 3 songs is the limit, and then afterwards you're like, okay, that's it. Like you realize what he is, and then you just move forward. The same thing with Michael Jackson to an extent. But it was just a
really weird situation.
Well, it's not that weird if you think about it. You're just more self-aware about it. Because, you're sitting there and you're like, okay, is it really a good idea for me to do this? Well, in good conscience, I know that, P. Diddy has slathered up half of Hollywood. Like, no, it isn't. So I'm not going to. Like, I want to go to heaven, So, I'm also of the mindset too, as long as we're on ethical questions, if you know what you're doing is wrong, at what point can you stop yourself? Because you should stop yourself if you know you're doing something wrong. And this is more of a question for, like, we're talking about it with music, but it's also with society too. If what you're doing, no matter what it is considered wrong or out of sorts, do you have the wherewithal to stop yourself? And this is like one of the questions I'm going to probably pick up on and answer like in the fall once I launch my podcast. But it's something that you just don't really. You're trying to get out of that cycle of bad shit. Yeah. And that's a
perfect segue. I want you to tell all the fans watching right now. We got 42 people on the live stream right now.
Okay.
We're about to get out of here because it has been 2 hours. So I do want you to let the people know, what is your new project coming up? Where can they expect to find you?
So they're going to be able to find me on Apple and Spotify. Probably that's where we're going to aim to put it. If you've listened to Trevor Noah's podcast, it's going to be much a similar format. He kind of stole my idea before I wanted to take that, but that's okay. That's fine. It's okay. And for those that have read the column that I have had since 2000, yes, in August, it is still kicking. We are still going. It will reach 25 years. It is in August. That column will drop August 20th. And it will drop the same time that it dropped in 2000, in August 2000. It will hit the same exact time. So I want to be able to, and then after that, the podcast will launch.
Wow.
So yeah. So that's why I wanted to get in the podcast game. Some friends reached out and said, "Hey, we've read your stuff. We want you to talk about it." And I'm starting to recruit some people who want to be on it. And it's just going to be a rotating cast of friends who want to talk about opinionated stuff. We're trying to stay away from politics. We're going to let you do that. But, the legal stuff, the, sports and other opinionated things that we want to cover. So it's just going to be fun, man. It's going to be a blast. But for the time being, you can find me on Instagram at AM23 Photography. And, reach out to me there if you want to do a Milky Way shoot. And thanks for having me again. I'm glad I could save you once more, because I know I've been watching you the last couple of weeks. I've been getting back in the habit of watching you. You've needed me. I'm just saying, you needed me, my friend.
I need all the viewer and all the support I can get, and am very much appreciative of you as not only a viewer and but as a friend of mine for a very long time. We have been friends, and we will be lifelong friends. So I'm not worried.
Yes, we will be.
He'll be on his podcast, so you catch me on there.
You will be. I want to ask you about the Mets. I really do. I do want to ask you about the Mets when we do start up. I have questions. I just have questions.
Well,
and we can talk about it. That's it.
Right now, we're okay. I don't know where we're going to be in August. We can make out the race by August. I don't know what's happening.
I mean,
we started off strong, and now we're just losing everything.
Well, that's okay. That's fine. It is what it is. And
it's baseball.
It's a good thing. It's baseball.
I couldn't have
expected
Lindor, and I couldn't have expected Lindor and Alonso to keep up that hot hitting like that. So,
yeah, I will say this before I go. Chet, since you're such a huge baseball fan, there was an interview that just dropped with Bernie Sanders, and in it, I have to find it because it was a clip on YouTube. But Google Bernie Sanders and Brooklyn Dodgers, okay, and watch that interview because he talks about his love of the Brooklyn Dodgers and how that the move to LA affected him. So definitely check that out. I think it's like only 20 minutes. So, and go see Mission Impossible. It dropped on my birthday. Go see it. This is not a paid advertisement.
If you can,
what? Do you want me to send it to you? The interview?
If you can send me that link, I would appreciate it. Yeah, send me the link.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
all right.
No, I'm not going to watch Mission Impossible. Stop trying to get me to watch Mission Impossible. You've been trying to get me to watch Mission Impossible our whole lives, and I care about Tom Cruise and his dumb stunts. Okay, I don't want to watch Mission Impossible. Right? Get out of here.
I think you should.
I don't want to watch James Bond either. Stop trying to get me to watch James Bond. I don't want to.
Why are you talking like a secret spy
fan? You really do love that shit.
Yes,
I know, but you've tried to get me to watch James Bond plenty of times.
For the record, I'm trying to get him to watch Mission Impossible a whole lot more.
I love you, brother.
There was a time we were 14 where I tried to get him to come to Springfield Mall with us, and he ended up not coming because he was like, I'm just going to go to Tower Records.
For like the past 20 years, since like high school.
Yeah. No, I'm taking it back to 96 when the first movie came out.
Look, this may be an unpopular opinion, but I do not like action movies. I just don't really care for action movies. I just don't. Like maybe every once in a while, I'll like a Transformers or an X-Men or a Deadpool and Wolverine or maybe something like that. Maybe possibly like when the first kind of Michael Bay movies were coming out and there was like a lot of CGI and a lot of action and blowing up and stuff. Okay,
Michael Bay is a sham.
And after a while, if there's no story to it, I'm just going to get bored. I don't want to just...
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Michael Bay is a sham. I'm sorry. But I see what you're saying, and I respect where you're coming from. But I was more telling the rest of your audience to go see MI, particularly if they have seen the other movies. If you don't want to go see it, that's fine. No big deal. So go see Lilo and Stitch then.
I'm not gonna see it. You don't have to worry about that.
Go see.
I'm not seeing Lilo and Stitch either. I don't watch cartoons. I'm not a damn kid. I'm not going to watch Lilo and Stitch. Get out of here. What? No. What is happening right now?
This is why I love joining your show.
What just happened?
It's so unhinged. It's fabulous. Okay, fine. If you need Omar, he'll be watching We Live in Time.
Get off my show. Get the hell off my show. Get off my show. I hate you so much. Get off my show. Get off my damn show.
Okay.
I'm almost done, everybody. One of my lifelong friends who likes to make fun of me all the time. Get the hell off my show. Damn it. He's removed. Peace out. You can catch him at AM. I did. I took him off. I couldn't have him laughing at me like that on my own show. All right? Now, AM23 photography. Definitely check him out. That's his Instagram. For real, y'all. Amul has been my friend since literally we met at 5 years old, before first grade. we met. And we have been friends ever since. We live next to each other, and we've carried on that relationship. He is an amazing person. His family is awesome. I love them very much. So shout out. Thank you for coming on, my brother. I appreciate you. I can't wait to be on your podcast. That being said, I got to finish up. Wild Card Mar. You know what it is. He invited me on the Late Night Owl. You know I love the Late Night Owl, baby. Check us out. About 15 minutes from now, you know we be on CP time. So 15 minutes from now, 30 minutes from now, I got to get me a drink, get some other accoutrements. What a great word for a Puerto Rican on a live TV show. Check us out. Wildcard Mar. 15 minutes from now, we're going to break down all the sports news at Wildcard Mar at IOW Network 4037. Always check out IOW at Ball and Buds. All of the places. We're going to be there in 15 minutes. Check us out. We love you. Thank you for tuning in. Y'all are amazing. Ball and Buds. Make sure you subscribe to Ball and Buds, BALLANDBUDS. Hit that like button if you're watching live or on the replay. And yo, happy Memorial Day. Shout out to all my fellow veterans, all the active duty, and all of those soldiers and heroes who sacrificed for me to be free to do this show for y'all. Love each other. Be kind to each other. Make sure you go out and do your best and succeed this week. Help the world to be a better place. And hey, spread love the Omar way. Holla. 5,000.
He's with the millions.
It's that world heavyweight flow. Championship belt wrapped around my waist, yo. I got that Ric Flair figure flow. Slam you on the pavement, that's why they call me Street Pro. Create heat, don't beat close. Like Jordan after the second time he three-peated, folks. Get ready, set, let's go. Fight toe to toe, release the flow created by this mic pro. Lights, camera, get low. Action packed, back to back. In fact, this monster will grow. Y'all better let them know. Man with the master plan, and you have no need to know. You came prepared, now get ready for the show.
Sports Professor. Oh!